Thursday Night Lights, Season 8 kicks off tonight. Hart Park in Wauwatosa. Good one tonight. Crossover matchup between Heartland Arrowhead and Marquette University High School. The color guard is at the center of the field, and we'll have our keys to the game in just a moment. But first, our national anthem.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Outstanding job by Marquette senior Christian Spey with our national anthem tonight.
Had a chance to see Christian perform last year in the musical. Outstanding talent, and he demonstrated it right there.
Humid night tonight. Should be an exciting contest tonight. Marquette taking the field as we speak, as they hit the center of the field. Let's start with our Heiser Automotive Group keys to the game tonight with Arrowhead.
Now for Arrowhead, one of the things we kept hearing their coaches yell at practice we visited, they have to play with urgency. They're also emphasizing the need to really play physically, and we know that they've got to utilize their skill people. They have some excellent skill people.
On the other side of the line of scrimmage, Marquette Hilltoppers, what do they need to do?
They got to control the line of scrimmage. They don't feel that they did that well last year. Their quick passing game has to really work well so they can set up some deep throws. And then they've got to really read their keys well when they're on defense, because Arrowhead forces you to play the whole field.
Our keys to the game brought to you by the Heiser Automotive Group. Crossover matchup, Greater Metro Conference against the Classic 8. I think two of the premier conferences in Southeast Wisconsin.
Right, these two schools, when they pick who has the best athletic program, Arrowhead usually wins considering both boys and girls athletics, and Marquette the past couple of years has won it on the boys side, so they have complete athletic programs.
Arrowhead will get the football to start this contest. Marquette winning the coin toss. They have deferred to the second half. So Arrowhead will receive to our left, working left to right in the white uniforms tonight. Again, we talked about in the pregame, 1-2 start for the Warhawks, winning 5 of their last 6 to get into the playoffs. Same with the Marquette. 0-3 start. It was that 1-point win over Menominee Falls that turned the season around, so to speak, for Maz and the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, they really did a nice job against Julian Davis, the outstanding running back from Falls. And then that night, one of their running backs exploded onto the scene. Usually they're known for their passing attack, but that evening they really ran the ball well.
Michael Mitchell, a junior, has it teed up. One of the new specialists for Marquette. Again, Victor Martinez, one of the outstanding place kicker for this Marquette program, graduating out 7 for 7 in field goals, missed only 1 extra point all season.
Right, and you need the special teams early in the season to really set the tone.
Schleicher and Zuchis standing deep for Arrowhead.
How quick can we do it?
Mitchell waiting for his signal. Bill Becker, our referee, says play on. Marquette and Arrowhead. Week 1 is underway in Wauwatosa. And taking it on the line, that is Schleicher coming up the near side across the 30. Cuts to the 35, out to the 36-yard line. A good return for the Warhawks to set them up offensively. Getting down there on special teams, Javon Matthews and Joe Pettit for Marquette making the stops. Our first look here at Arrowhead. New quarterback this season, Tommy Darrow, a 6'2 junior. Talk about new, threw only 2 passes all of last year.
played in 3 games, however. They had a couple quarterbacks go down injured, and so Tom has a little bit of experience.
And he's going to give it right away. Nielsen, and he is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. A stout defense, a 3-4 defense set up for Marquette this season. Dylan Bonk in there on the stop. You have Crawford, Ramos, and Wagner, the 3 down linemen for Marquette tonight. Riley Nowakowski, John O'Brien, Vince Nigro, and Bonk, your linebackers. We'll set the secondary for you in a moment. 2nd down 9 for the Warhawks. And again, the give going over the left side. This is Nielsen. Nielsen tries to cut back at the hash mark, and he is met for about a 1-yard gain. Getting down there was Wagner, Nolan Wagner, the defensive end, along with Dylan Bonk once again for the Hilltoppers.
It's going to be an interesting match, kind of a chess match. Both these teams are employing a 3-4 defense. They both have worked with the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh staffs, so they have a feel for what each can do, and they're going to try to exploit what they see as weaknesses.
See if they find Schleicher here in a route. Darrow with time over the middle, completes, first down in Marquette territory, down to the Hilltopper 45-yard line. Robbie Simden, the junior wide receiver, making the catch. Javon Matthews with the stop.
Might have given him just a little too much room that time. First game, you're trying to get your feel for your depth of your drops.
No huddle here for the Warhawks. Darrell from pistol wants to throw, comes back near side, completes to Prangy. Prangy has some running room and gets to the boundary here on the near side, near the 30-yard line, a pickup of about 16 yards. Avon Prangy, the senior, with the reception. It was Conley there on the stop, along with Stewart, the secondary.
Yeah, those throwouts to the flat hurt Marquette last year in their opening game with Arrowhead out at Arrowhead Stadium.
An impressive opening drive here for Arrowhead inside the 30-yard line of Marquette. And Darrow will shovel it off. Nielsen again trying to get to the outside, and good pursuit that time, stretching the line of scrimmage. Curry again in on the stop, Patrick Curry. And Dylan Bonk, once again, we're going to hear a lot about this Dylan Bonk, the senior outside linebacker.
Yeah, when you're playing the 3-4, your defensive backs, some of them are almost like linebackers in terms of kind of an overhang, and they've got to come up and fill those seams.
No gain on the play, 2nd down 10 for Arrowhead. Trips here to the near side for Darrell, working out of the pistol. And he's going to hand it off. Nielsen, big hole up the middle inside the 25, down to the 21-yard line. Gain of about 8 on the play by Nielsen. Nielsen getting the start tonight at running back ahead of Robbie Lindemann. Shane O'Brien there on the stop. It'll bring up a 3rd and 2 here for the Warhawks. Darrell going to give it to Nielsen again. Tripped up in the backfield. 2nd effort, trying to get it. Ball out. Fumble on the play. Marquette says they have it. No signal yet. And it is Hilltopper ball on the turnover. Bonk was in there. He may have come up with the football for Marquette. Let's take another look. Oh, I thought we were getting a replay there. We apologize. Marquette gets the early takeaway here, stopping the Arrowhead drive inside the Hilltopper 25-yard line.
You can see what Arrowhead is trying to run as a read option. That quarterback is trying to see if the end is going to commit. Does he give the ball or keep it himself? They're also going to do some run-pass option, RPO, as you hear so much on TV nowadays, off those same plays.
So now the offense for the Hilltoppers taking the field. Senior Mike McDivitt at quarterback. Won the job here in the last 2 weeks. Had a pretty impressive scrimmage last Friday in Mukwonago. DeLeon Brown-Williams coming around the near side. Out across the 25-yard line before he's ushered to the boundary. Borkowitz there to make the stop for Arrowhead.
Yeah, Brown-Williams has some good speed. He's part of a relay team that set a school record at Marquette last year. And, once again, we're seeing with both schools, multiple sport athletes, something we talked about quite a bit last year.
2nd down 6, ball at the 22 for Marquette. McDivitt will send Brown-Williams in motion. Wants to flare it outside, completes the pass, and knee was down. Making the catch that time, James Hubert, the wide receiver, making the catch, brought down by Wolfile, the strong safety for Arrowhead, brings up a 3rd down. I want to remind you that this quarter, our first downs are brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hubert last year was also an honorable mention receiver in the Greater Metro Conference.
Well, Marquette, their first third down conversion of the evening here following the turnover. 8:45 to play here in the first. McDivitt wants to throw, going to the far sideline, and flag thrown as there was contact between the defender, Jacob Borey, and the wide receiver, Reed Thompson, drawing that penalty.
Yeah, we featured Reed in our pregame discussion of top players. 62 catches last year for 921 yards.
Bill Becker is our referee tonight, 31-year veteran high school official. And they're going to wave off that penalty. So the officials pick up the flag here, bring up fourth down, and so it'll bring up the punting unit. And we'll feature our third member of our group here tonight, Mike McGivern, down on the sidelines. Mike, what do you have?
Hey, guys, so listen to defensive coordinator Marquette. He said, boys, you got that first one out of your system. Our pad levels are too high. Get your pad levels down a little bit. And here in the second and third series, we're going to bring some pressure, so make sure you're paying attention to what we're looking for. But the whole thing was like, look, it's our first series. We'll be okay.
Mitchell in some trouble with the snap over his head, and he'll be buried inside his own 5-yard line. Late penalty marker thrown after the tackle, but the snap going over Mitchell's head. Did a good job flagging it down, but too much penetration by the Arrowhead defenders there, and he had nowhere to go.
Right, once that ball goes sailing over your head, you've lost all timing. And, sometimes people say, why doesn't the punter just kick the ball? Much easier said than done.
Dalton Elrod was the first one in there for Arrowhead. And again, the flag came out immediately after Mitchell was taken to the ground. Bill Becker, our referee. It's a face mask penalty against Arrowhead. So each team with a turnover here in this first quarter. And Arrowhead will get possession here following the 15-yard walk-off just inside the Hilltopper 18-yard line.
Those early season turnovers, you talk about them, you try to prepare not to do it, but you still have to get into the swing of things.
So Darrow and the offense return here for Arrowhead, and he will keep it with some running room. Tommy Darrow inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. A quick pickup of 10 on the play. It was Keaton Stewart, safety there, to finally get him to the turf.
Yeah, there's a little bit more of that read option. He's watching that man in the end line of scrimmage, seeing if he should keep the ball or pitch it.
Another Gruber Law Office's first down here, 1st and goal, Arrowhead. Darrow will hand it off. This is Robbie Lindeman. Lindeman inside the 5. And a flag thrown in the vicinity of holding. John O'Brien, the inside linebacker, made the call. Let's see if we got a holding call here against Arrowhead. Face mask call, 5-yard penalty. Charge to Marquette. So this will be half the distance to the goal, and we'll take another look, see if we can pick it up here. Darrow on the run. And I'm not seeing it.
That's one you're going to ask about later.
1st and goal for Arrowhead. And then Lindeman, right side, end zone, touchdown, Arrowhead. Robbie Lindeman, the 6-foot senior, was not in the first series. It was Josh Nielsen in that first series, but the senior running back, who had 151 yards and a touchdown a season ago, gives Arrowhead the early 6-0 lead. One more look.
Quick handoff. They ran right over the one defender and pushed his way into the end zone.
That's tough to do. Ran right over Dylan Bunk. Seth Foey, another new specialist here for Arrowhead. Again, they graduated Alex Noors and their punter, Chandler Pulvermacher. This kick is up, and it is good. Just under 8 minutes gone by here in our first quarter. 7-0 Arrowhead. They take advantage of that high snap off the punt. One more look.
That was John O'Brien. He kind of powered over rather than Dylan Bonk. But John didn't come up ready, didn't sink his hips, ready to come in and make a tackle.
So Lindemann gives Arrowhead the 7-0 lead. Each team with a turnover here early in this first quarter, but it's Arrowhead who cashes it in.
Right, you know, when you have that fumbled snap on a kick, more often than not, that leads to bad things for the kicking team.
Coming up later tonight, we'll highlight an important point in the game as our watershed moment. That feature is being brought to you this season by Sweetwater, Southeast Wisconsin Watersheds Trust. Look at Coach Maz for Marquette, 9th season as head football coach.
Yeah, he's had great success. They've since he's been at the helm, they've had won or tied for the conference title 5 times and made it to the semis twice. And unfortunately, 3 of the past 4 years, they've run into Kimberly in the playoffs. So, you know, they want to get over that hump.
It'll be Reed Thompson and Jimmy Hubert standing deep for Marquette.
Now, Arrowhead has always had strong special teams, excellent coaching over the years.
And the kick, driving it into the end zone for the touchback. Well, you can check out the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by U.S. Cellular, streaming live online. Simply go to my24milwaukee.com. We have complete games, photos, and more at my24milwaukee.com. Again, a big thank you to Heiser Automotive Group for our title sponsorship this season of Thursday Night Lights. And again, a big welcome to U.S. Cellular being part of our broadcast once again this season.
Well, that rhyme of Heiser and Weiser, you have to really appreciate that.
Carr might be in the offing, who knows? On the 20, swing pass here to the near side, complete out to Hubert. Gets it across the 24 out to about the 25-yard line. Jacob Borey able to make the stop for Arrowhead.
And once again, you're seeing some of the same plays, those quick passes out to the flat, quick screens. But that wide receiver who's not catching the ball has to block. It's key to the success of that play.
Mike McDivitt blitzes on, gets out of it, has some running room across the 25, tried to angle to the sideline, makes it just short of the 30-yard line. Good hustle on the defensive side of the ball that time for Arrowhead. On him on the blitz, it was Borey again coming in, getting McDivitt here on the near sideline. But just enough for a Gruber Law Office's first down for Marquette, who trail here 7-0 on the short drive set up by the punt, the snap going over the punter's head. Drive started on the 17-yard line. Here's DeLeon Brown Williams, fights his way over the right side out to just shy of the 35-yard line, pickup of about 4. Nose tackle John Henry Schlager able to make the stop. That's one of Tom Taraska's favorite players on that defensive side of the ball.
He liked that name, John Henry. I think he thought it was kind of a song he's playing.
We were at practice on Monday. He was, John Henry, where's John Henry? John Henry, you got to see this kid, John Henry. John Henry who? Couldn't remember his last name. He just knew him as John Henry. Leon Brown Williams, nice run across the 40 out to the 42-yard line. Gain of 9 and a Gruber Law Office's first down for Marquette. Owen Arnett able to make the stop, the sophomore safety.
Yeah, Owen Arnett played quite a bit last year as a freshman, not only offensively but defensively as well, and he's one of the players we might see go both ways this evening.
First and 10, Hilltoppers at their own 41-yard line. Just under 7 minutes to go, first quarter, 7-0 Arrowhead. Twins to the right side here from McDivitt. He'll shovel it out to Brown Williams. Cuts it back at the hash mark. Nice move to midfield. DeLeon Brown Williams into Arrowhead territory to the Arrowhead 45-yard line. Gain of 14 on the play and another first down for Marquette. Seth Bowie made the stop.
Past few years, Marquette has had a reputation as a team that likes to throw the ball. And last year, they started trying to transition a little bit more running game, try to get more balance. Try to see how that plays out through the rest of this game. And one of the things you see as an adjustment here is Arrowhead's walking a linebacker up to give a 4-man front.
Quick drop by McDivitt, swings it out, completes the pass far side. Reed Thompson has it, pulled back near the 39-yard line, forward progress. Give him about 6 on the play. It was Boratz and Orlando making the stop. Once again to the sideline, and Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, on the Arrowhead sideline, really happy with the decision making of the quarterback and their offensive line, feeling real good about the offensive line. They're talking a lot about where they're going to start to blitz from, so they're expecting Marquette to start bringing some pressure. We'll see what happens next time they get the ball. Back to you, boys.
Mike, thank you very much.
This thing sucks.
Second down and 4 here for Marquette. Officials stop the clock. Now they'll wind it down. Dalian Brown-Williams, the single back in the backfield here with stacks both right and left, and the handoff to Brown-Williams. He's met in the backfield and brought down nearly immediately that time. Nick Wolfile, the strong safety, came in untouched. It'll be a tackle for a loss back to the 41-yard line, a loss of 2, and it sets up a 3rd and 6 here for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, 6 feet, 200 pounds. We talked before about DBs in this 3-4 defense. Have to play also like a linebacker besides your pass responsibilities. Wolfile, honorable mention all-conference last year.
From the Warhawk 41, 3rd and 6. McDivitt wants to pass, comes back, swings it out to Dalian Brown-Williams. Williams with the catch, dives forward to the 30-yard line, will get the first down. Nice touch that time by McDivitt to flare that one out to Brown-Williams, and Dalian Brown-Williams picked up that first down. Brought down by Ray Ripplinger for the Warhawks.
Yeah, Ripplinger came in to replace Dalton Elrod at the linebacker. Good call by offensive coordinator Jake Josetti on that screen pass.
Fresh set of downs here for Marquette. First down, toss near side, Brown-Williams. Gets it across the line of scrimmage, down short of the 25-yard line. Foey was there.
Yeah, once again, you saw 55, Ray Ripplinger, coming in there.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5 from the 27-yard line of Arrowhead. Marquette trying to answer. They trail 7-0, stacked here to the near side. They give up the middle. Brown-Williams breaks a couple of tackles inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line. A pickup of 10 for Dalian Brown-Williams. Seth Foey finally got him to the turf.
Now, Brown-Williams is only 5'7", 153 pounds, but you can see he gets that forward lean, gets himself up into the hole.
Talk about that forward lean there. You saw that nice shoulder move as he made it to the second level that time. 1st and 10, Marquette. Ball at the 17 of Arrowhead. McDivitt wants to throw. Going deep, and it is incomplete. I think that was intended for Hubert, who got tangled up on his break off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I don't know whether there was a misunderstanding of what the pattern was. You didn't see Hubert, go on any kind of a streak pattern there. You also can see Arrowhead's trying to change up its defense a little bit. They brought a rush from one of the outside backers, overhang they call them. He came in to put a little pressure on.
2nd and 10. 4:42 to go here in the first. They trail 7-0. Brown-Williams works the left side, spins out of 2 tackles inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line. Johnny Orlando was there. Also there, Everett Fawley. Fawley shed that block nicely, cut back to his left, filled the gap.
All right, here's one of those key plays early on. Can they convert on a 3rd and short?
They're going trips right with Brown-Williams, the single back. And he will get the call. Up the middle, end zone, touchdown Marquette. Dalian Brown-Williams from 8 yards out. And they are an extra point away from tying this one up.
Nice job on that left side. Sean Timmis at the tackle, Max Silverman at left guard, Charlie Gariner at the center. created a little seam there for Brown Williams to shoot through.
80-yard drive capped off by the 8-yard touchdown run. One more time, Dalian Brown Williams. Mitchell on for the extra point. Wesley Miller on the hold. Matt McDivitt, the long snap, got back there. Good job getting it down, and it went through.
All right.
Great job all around. McDivitt snapped to Wesley Miller, and Mitchell puts it through. We're tied at 7. We'll take a break. The Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by U.S. Cellular on My 24. Quite the answer Marquette was looking for.
One that they needed right away. Last year they kind of fell behind early against Arrowhead, then kind of rallied in the second half. So they're still feeling each other out. And once again, as you're playing a 3-4 defense, you're trying to, see just how it's going to work. I know Marquette played it last year. They've added some wrinkles to it. But once again, kids are being asked to do some things that are not typical with some of the defenses.
And some credit to Jake Giosetti. A couple of key third down conversions, a little flare pass here to the near side to Dalian Brown Williams, and then that nice running play the last 2 times by Brown Williams to get them into the end zone.
Yeah, mixing things up well. Jake himself was a very good quarterback at Marquette. Went on to Ball State.
Yes, he did. Zuchius and Schleicher standing deep for Mitchell. And this will go. Schleicher cuts it back near side, trying to get the 20, and he's blocked down there. Good open field special team tackle that time by Joe Pettit, getting downfield to make the stop on Schleicher.
Yeah, Pettit's a backup outside linebacker, plays some in the base defense as well.
Well, you can see the Miami-Dade, Florida Police Department's Crime Scene Investigations Unit in action as they solve crimes that other departments can't. Don't miss CSI Miami, Friday nights this fall, here on My 24. 1st and 10 Arrowhead from their own 23-yard line. Tie game now, it's 7-all. 3 receivers to the left. They'll break one in motion here to the near side for Darrow. And he will hand it off, trying to work his way up the middle. Bouncing it outside is Lindemann. Lindemann over the right side across the 25 out to the 26-yard line. Joe Pettit, who made that special teams tackle, comes up big on the stop here defensively for Marquette.
Yeah, Lindemann's demonstrated that he's a hard runner. He doesn't go down. He went into that pile, kept his feet churning, and then bounced it slightly outside.
Let's head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
So, guys, offensive line came off for Marquette High, and the whole offense went to them and said, boy, this is you guys the whole way. A lot of love for the offensive line. They think they're wearing the defensive line for Arrowhead down a little bit and feeling really good about themselves right now.
Thanks, Mike. Feeling really good about himself is Vince Nigro with that nice tackle there, stuffing the hole.
Yeah, for this 3-4 defense to work, your inside linebackers have to be able to step into that gap when that hole opens up and fill it right away.
3rd and 7 for Arrowhead from their own 27-yard line. Darrow wants to throw. Going over the middle. Lofts it, looking for Simden. Makes the catch near the 40-yard line of Marquette. A sensational catch. Javon Matthews did all he could to prevent that from getting in, but Darrow dropped it in for the first down.
Yeah, he got the jump on Javon there. I don't know whether Javon was stuck looking back a little bit.
Simden, the sophomore, second big catch here tonight for Arrowhead. Down to the Marquette 41-yard line. They'll try and swing it out to Schleicher. Wide receiver screen, and Schleicher going to find the boundary on that far side. Riley Nowakowski there to chase him to the boundary. A gain of 4 sets up 2nd and 6 here for Arrowhead. 2:43 to play here in an exciting first quarter here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa.
Yeah, that quick passing game for Arrowhead's been working well.
Schleicher is lined up here to the near side. They'll give it to Lindemann. Lindemann fights his way, got to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Good stout defense that time by the Hilltoppers. Defensive line along with the linebacking core able to seal up that hole. And again, another clutch third down here for Arrowhead. Let's see what they do. They'll go twin slots here, 4 receivers,
See if they
2 by 2.
See if they try to bring some pressure.
Darrow with time, comes back, and a nice catch by Schleicher at the 21-yard line. 16-yard pickup. He actually fell down, got back to his knees to make that catch.
Tremendous concentration. He looked that ball right into his hands.
They'll officially mark it at the 22. Sets up a 1st and 10. Another Gruber Law Office's first down here for Arrowhead. Darrow again from the pistol, trips to the left side here on 1st down. He wants to throw with time, going deep, has a man, in and out of his hands, incomplete. Coming back to this near side, Jared Lonis was the intended target, actually got a hand on the pigskin, couldn't gather it in.
Right, you know, a number of the Arrowhead receivers are running free. The coverage has to tighten up a little bit, but by the same token, Marquette's got to find a way to put a little pressure on the passer.
Stay tuned. At the end of the game, we will highlight our player of the game, brought to you by the U.S. Army. Army strong, and there's an interception picked off by the Marquette defense. It was Patrick Curry. Second takeaway by the Marquette defense here in this first quarter.
That came at just the opportune time. We just talked about the DBs have been having some problems. That time, excellent coverage by those 2 DBs converged on the receiver.
Looked like Corey jumped the route. We'll get one more look here. He just stepped right in front of the receiver. His ball was a little overthrown, looking for Schleicher, and Curry, the senior, able to snatch that away. Second takeaway by the Hilltopper defense tonight. And they will get it at their own 23-yard line here late in the first quarter. Single back is Dalian Brown-Williams. McDivitt will give it off. This time it's Ubert. Ubert with some running room across the 30 out to the 35-yard line before he is brought down. Dalton Elrod back in there. He left the last series with an injury, but he's back out there, makes the tackle for Arrowhead.
You know, you see a lot of what they call the speed sweep like that. And a lot of teams run variations off of it. They fake it. That guy continues out for passes. Quarterback might run the opposite way after faking it. So once again, it forces the defense to read.
Pickup of 12, 1st and 10 from the 35. McDivitt, plenty of time, going over the middle, has a man through his hands. Michael Richardson, the junior, the intended target, could not haul it in. Jacob Borey out there in coverage, the corner for Arrowhead.
Pretty nice throw by McDevitt. He put it out there. Once again, both teams like that passing game.
Stepped up nicely into the pocket, delivered a good ball. I think Michael would tell you he should have come up with that. 2nd and 10 from their own 35. Back to the near sideline, right back to Michael Richardson, makes the catch, will get the first down. The Gruber Law Office's first down out to the 46. Borey again in on the stop. I like that call. Jake Giuseppe went right back to Richardson that time, get him the ball.
Right, I mean, these guys work all the time in practice, throwing at each other. You're obviously not going to catch every one, but do you forget that last drop and just concentrate on the ball coming to you?
Under a minute to go here in our first quarter. Dalian Brown-Williams going over the left side, taking tacklers with him across midfield to the Arrowhead 48-yard line. Gain of 8 on the play by Dalian Brown-Williams. Quite the first quarter for him. Will Paulson finally got him to the turf. Pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Final half minute here of this first quarter. Trips to the right side. Brown-Williams will get the call over the right side, inside the 45, down to the 43-yard line.
That's good enough for another first down.
It'll be another Gruber Law Office's first down for Marquette. Starting to get some rhythm now offensively for this Hilltopper team. Elrod, his 2nd tackle tonight.
Looks like Marquette's going to try to get yet another play in before the end of the quarter.
Slot receiver here to the near side. That's Ubert. McDivitt wants to throw with plenty of time. going over the middle, looking for Hubert, ball in the air, over the shoulder, could not make the catch. That would have been a tremendous catch by Hubert, but he could not haul it in, lost it as he hit the turf.
You know, once again, you saw a good deep throw by McDevitt. He's, you know, doesn't have a lot of experience from last year, but he stepped into the job and taken it over.
Got about 3 steps on the defenders that time, tried to drop it over the shoulder, and Hubert unfortunately could not make the catch. 2nd and 10 from the Arrowhead 44. Stack 2 receivers here to the near side. Penalty marker down and pass thrown into the turf, incomplete. I think we got a legal formation here on Marquette.
Yeah, they had 2 things happen. Jimmy Hubert was trying to come out. I think he might have landed on the ball the previous play. And then all of a sudden the wide receiver, I don't know if it was Richardson, you know, took a false step.
Too many men on the field. 12 men at the snap for Marquette. Bill Becker, our referee tonight, talking over to Fritz Rock whether or not he wants to accept or decline here. So illegal substitution. So he'll decline the penalty on the incomplete pass to bring up 3rd and 10. So one more play here with the clock stopped. 1.7 seconds to go in the quarter. Two-by-two stack that far side. DeLeon Brown-Williams will get the call. Running right side, penalty marker down. Breaks the tackle. DeLeon Brown still on his feet inside the 30. Down to the 28-yard line, but let's check out the penalty flag.
Holding.
And this one's coming back for a holding call. Owen Arnett made the tackle on Brown-Williams, but holding penalty here. Bill Becker, our referee, still sorting this out here.
I don't know if we'll get a replay of that last play, but DeLeon Brown-Williams made him first man miss. One of the DBs came shooting up real fast. I think Nick Wolfile might have missed on that.
So with the penalty, it'll be 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. They will have to run one more play here in this first quarter. So 3rd and 18 here as McDevitt will roll to his right. Sets up at the hash, now cuts upfield. McDevitt gets back to the 48-yard line of Arrowhead, and that will end officially now our first quarter here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa. 7-all, Arrowhead and Marquette, our Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by U.S. Cellular. Seven all as we head into our second quarter tonight here on My 24 with Terry Kelly, John Weiser, Mike McGivern, and crew here tonight. Glad you're with us for the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by U.S. Cellular. Marquette will punt to start this second quarter. Mitchell had an adventure the last time he was back there. Another high snap, able to bring it down and get it away. Give credit to Mitchell there. Schleicher will pick it up on a bounce and take it out of bounds near the 20-yard line. A good friend of mine at Carthage College, Brad Fortney, who was our long snapper for 4 years, told me if you widen your stance but keep your heels planted to the turf, the snap will never go over the punter's head.
Right. I think sometimes centers get a little too geeked up with what they've got to do. Well, so far, you know, turnovers and penalties have dictated a lot of what's going on in this game.
Arrowhead got on the board first. They took advantage of a high snap over Mitchell's head. 23-yard drive that resulted in a 4-yard touchdown run. They opened up the scoring 7-0. Marquette came right back in an 80-yard drive as this is a toss to Schleicher trying to get the edge, and a good job by Marquette to string that out along the line of scrimmage. Patrick Curry made the stop, but heads up to that left defensive end, able to string that blocker, take him with him down the line of scrimmage. There's Darian Crawford out there on that left side. This is a loss of 3, 2nd and 13 here for Arrowhead. Just underway, second quarter. Darrow will hand it off. Again, this is Lindemann, Robbie Lindemann. Got back to the original line of scrimmage.
I don't see us in 44.
Let's head to the sideline once again, and Mike McGivern.
So, guys, number 4, James Hubert from Marquette came off. I think he may have landed on that ball, got over the sidelines, and threw up a little bit. And he looked at me and said, I hope you're not getting this on camera. It was awesome. He's feeling good, ready to go back and play again. And you'll see him back on the field.
Mike, thanks for that update. Good to hear Hubert's going to be okay. Darrow on the run now as he scrambles out of the pocket. Going to have some running room and more. 35-40, near sideline to midfield is Tommy Darrow, and out of bounds at the Marquette 34-yard line. A 47-yard scamper for the quarterback, Tommy Darrow. Curry, the cornerback, finally able to chase him down.
Now, once you let that guy break contain, you've trouble, and he made a nice cutback, came all the way across the field.
46-yard pickup and a Bryant and Stratton first down. Our first downs this quarter brought to you by Bryant and Stratton College Athletics. That pass thrown incomplete. Intended for Jonathan Witter. Thrown by Darrow. Darrow coming into this quarter has thrown for 68 yards, but scrambled for nearly 46 that last time.
And we'll see once again, I know he didn't look on the pattern, but up to the right side, top of the screen, they were running a little wheel pattern. That wheel man broke free, was running down the sidelines. Darrow didn't get a chance to spot him. Schleicher
comes in motion from the far side. Darrow rolling right. Flips it out to Schleicher, makes the catch inside the 30. Good open field tackle that time by the Hilltopper defense. Curry again, that's his 5th tackle here in this first half.
Yeah, he's been extremely busy. He set the edge real nice in a previous play this quarter. Come up on a couple of key tackles.
Another third down situation here. Again, props to the student body coming out here for both teams tonight. Again, August 16th, your first game, school not in session, but the students have turned out here tonight for both teams. 3rd and 5 from the Marquette 28. Fake the shovel. Darrow hit as he's thrown, completes the pass out to Robbie Simden inside the 15. Simden, check that, is at 8. That is Witter that made that catch. Number 8, Witter with the catch. O'Brien with the tackle. And it will be enough for Bryant and Stratton first down at the 14-yard line, a pickup of 14.
Very nice read that time by Darrow, the quarterback.
Well, he just got that one away as he was facing pressure from his right side. Able to deliver that ball before he was hit. Twin receivers to the right side here on 1st and 10. Inside the 14-yard line, Schleicher in motion. Darrow's going to keep it. Darrow going to be met up in the hole and driven back for a loss. Darrow brought down. Wagner, the defensive end, Nolan Wagner, able to get in there. Mason Carnell will have to come off for one snap. Carnell lost his helmet, the 6'2", 270-pound left tackle, so there'll be a new left tackle in there for this snap. For Arrowhead, let's see if defensive coordinator can pick that up. But actually going to take a timeout here is Arrowhead. So timeout, Arrowhead, they're first of the half.
Once again, they called that timeout, and one of the things I noticed is Marquette was not aligned correctly on defense either. Arrowhead might have done them a favor. They were really outnumbered to the top of the field, out to the right side there.
Well, our Salvation Army Doing the Most Good feature highlights Peter Sin, Peter's been a soldier at the Salvation Army of Milwaukee County's West Corps for 4 years. He is very active in the church and likes to volunteer his time by ringing bells at the Red Kettles during the holiday season. And thanks to Peter for this effort and doing the most good for the Salvation Army. Let's head downstairs to John Pearson.
Well, when you describe Peterson, I don't feel worthy of this conversation here, but yes, from the Salvation Army, West Corps, and so much going on with the Salvation Army in doing the most good. Tell me what you want to emphasize, especially with the food drive and everything that you guys have going.
Yes, so we're located at 1645 North 25th Street in Milwaukee, and first and foremost, I want to mention that the Salvation Army is a Christian ministry, and we serve the organization and community through our food drive. Our food drives is open Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Feel free to donate whenever you want at any of the barrels you see around town or at our organization. So we have church service also Sundays from 10 a.m. Till afternoon, and Wednesdays evening we have Bible study.
All right, we had a little football going on right down inside the 5-yard line, and your Thanksgiving efforts. We do it real quick. What are you doing for Thanksgiving this year?
Yeah, so later in the year we're going to have free food for the community, Thanksgiving dinner, along with Thanksgiving service, and we have the same type of dinner during Christmas service and Christmas around Christmas time.
Okay, you are always doing the most good. I would say you did good, but that's not grammatically correct. You did really well. Back to you guys.
John, thank you very much. All season we'll have the opportunity to talk with our sponsors, coaches, and other guests down on the sideline. Our sideline reports brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Nice catch by Witter down to the 5-yard line, sets up 3rd and 2. Darrow under pressure. Darrow will be brought down just inside the 5, close to a first down. I think it was Pettit who chased him down, and see where they mark it here. Gain of 1. It'll bring up 4th down and short here for Arrowhead. And I know Fritz Rock, he's going to go for it here.
Right. And, you know, Marquette had him trapped back there, but wasn't quite able to make the stop.
I don't know. What are we looking for here, Coach?
Well, they like their inside zone. That's one of the things they said that they like to make their bread and butter out of.
4th and 1. They blow the play up with the muff on the pitch, and it's going to be recovered by Marquette. Well, they tried to pitch it to Lindeman. He couldn't control it. And getting down defensively for Marquette, Patrick Curry having quite a first half. The junior cornerback picks up the loose ball, the 3rd takeaway by Marquette's defense here tonight.
You know, for Corey, he's got 5 tackles, interception, now a recovered fumble. Excellent job.
Boy, turnovers have hurt Arrowhead here tonight. That's their 3rd turn of the game.
There's Mr. Corey.
Got to believe that Lindeman simply took his eye off the pitch. I think he saw he had some running room and just simply didn't look it all the way in. DeLeon Brown-Williams around the left side. It's it across the 20. Sheds a tackle out to the 25-yard line. Gain of 12 and another. Bryant and Stratton first down here in this second quarter. Colton Borkowitz making the stop for Arrowhead.
Yeah, Brown-Williams is up about 85 yards so far in this first half. Been a key component of this offense.
Well, that 80-yard drive to tie the game, you could see Marquette got into a rhythm. Jake just said to the offensive coordinator, the calls were coming in, rolling right down the field. Again, Brown-Williams breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, lunges across the 25 out to the 27-yard line. Pickup of a couple that time. Again, it was Ripley there to make the stop. Ripplinger. Gain of 3 sets up 2nd and 7 for Marquette at their own 27-yard line midway through this second quarter. Able to turn away Arrowhead on the takeaway. They're coming back near side. Ball in the air, overthrown, looking for Reed Thompson. First team all-conference in the Greater Metro Conference last season.
Nice coverage there by Colton Borkowitz. Stride for stride, keeping that man pushing to the outside.
Well, here's where Marquette, I think when we watched the scrimmage on Friday down at McWanago, this is where they ran into some trouble, the 3rd and long situations. 3rd and 7 for the Hilltoppers at their own 27-yard line. Play fake to Brown Williams. McDivitt rolling right. Comes back right side. Catch is made. Did he stay in bounds? Yes, he did. Hubert with a nice grab. Again, he came out that last series, last offensive series, fell on top of the football and missed the last couple of plays of that previous series, but comes up big here.
Now, there was not much of a window. You could see him tap that foot down. Very good throw.
McDivitt did a nice job leading him to that boundary, getting him away from the linebacker Orlando. Brown Williams going to be racked up behind the line of scrimmage. One of the few times tonight Arrowhead has made a stop on Brown Williams at the line of scrimmage. Nate Hess, defensive lineman, there to make the stop for Arrowhead. No gain.
Arrowhead's been working in a few different players here defensively. I don't know whether part of the plan or whether they feel they need to put a little more pressure from the outside. Hess is playing at that defensive tackle end position.
2nd and 10, their own 35. Hitch and go, comes back underneath to Hubert. Hubert across the 40, spins out of a tackle to 45 to the 47-yard line. Gain of 12 and another. Bryant and Stratton College, 1st down. Wolfile, the strong safety, able to make the stop.
Yeah, I mean, a 3-year starter. Wolfile is, we've seen him come up to make some crunching tackles. Also plays excellent pass defense.
Nice little spin out that time by Hubert. Honorable mention all-conference a season ago. He comes in motion. They'll toss it to Hubert. Coming around the left side, has some blocking. Across midfield down to the Arrowhead 45-yard line. Gain of about 8 again, this time on the run of James Hubert.
Very patient as he watched his blockers set up out in front of him. Sometimes receivers like to run away from those blockers, but that time he let them do their job.
And he rushed for 154 yards and 3 touchdowns last season. They'll swing it out to Hubert. Hubert breaking a tackle down to the 40-yard line, and will get another Marquette 1st down. Wolfile, the strong safety. You can see Hubert saying, keep feeding me here. I want to keep going. And give him a breather here.
I think he's still having some lingering effects from having landed on his stomach. You can see him bent over once again.
And this humidity tonight not helping. High snap, McDivitt gets it down, hands it off. Brown Williams, big haul up the middle inside the 25-yard line. Dalian Brown Williams now over 100 yards rushing tonight. Wolfile brings him down.
Yeah, Silverman, Timmis working together along there with Charlie Geringer and Gabe Sweezy, Dominic Kowalik.
4 minutes to go here in the 1st half. Dalian Brown Williams gets the call again inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. As I said, Jake Giuseppe, the offensive coordinator, getting himself into a rhythm here, play calling. Marquette putting Arrowhead on their heels. Coming up with that fumble recovery on 4th down in the red zone. Their 3rd takeaway tonight, trying to cash this one in for some points. High snap again, McDivitt brings it down. And now McDevitt will take it and get back to the line of scrimmage. Geringer, the center, that senior center, snapping that one up. Nate Hess was there to make the stop. Another critical 3rd down here for Marquette.
I think Marquette's going to take a timeout here and try to figure some things out.
And sure, what's the official going to stand by Maz here? I think Maz is going to take as much time as he can to take the timeout here.
Yeah, buddy.
And now he will take his timeout. We'll take a break as well. Game tied at 7, but Marquette driving here late in the 2nd quarter. Our Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by U.S. Cellular. Just under 3 minutes to go here in our 1st half, tied at 7. Marquette coming out of a timeout. Well, this week on Faith in the Zone, Josh Holden, former West Point multi-sport athlete, joins Mike McGivern and Pastor Ken Keltner to discuss his faith and how it has affected his life professionally and personally. Faith in the Zone, Sunday at 8 a.m. and again at 8 p.m. only on Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan. We got movement up front. And one player jumped the neutral zone and contact was made at the line of scrimmage. And it's going to go against the defense.
I think it'll give them a first down. It's going to be real close.
And they'll get the first down via penalty.
I don't know whether McDevitt came up, gave a hard count, or whether the defensive man was anticipating.
So free 5 and a fresh set of downs following the penalty here for Marquette to the Arrowhead 18-yard line. Going right, ball deep in the end zone, catch is made, touchdown Marquette, Reed Thompson. Wow, what a catch.
McDevitt put it where only Thompson could get it, over the shoulder of the defense. Excellent concentration by Reed as he looked that ball in.
And a great job by McDevitt. If we watch the replay here, he took a shot after the play, and the flag was roughing the passer. But what a job. Threw it right to the pylon where Thompson could catch it. And the Marquette Hilltoppers capitalize on the fumble recovery on 4th down. Arrowhead fumbling it away for their 3rd turnover of the game. And Marquette marches it in 77 yards. The 18-yard pass from McDevitt to Reed Thompson. Thompson, 62 catches, 921 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Picks up touchdown number 1 to give his team the lead.
Yeah, Reed's been getting quite a bit of attention from colleges. A nice 6'2" height.
Let's see if they can do a better job here. Miller to McDevitt for Mitchell. Better snap. Kick is on the way, and the kick is good. 14-7. Marquette with their first lead tonight. An impressive drive. 2 impressive drives for touchdowns tonight for Marquette.
Right. I mean, they've responded to each challenge that they've been faced with, and I think, you know, if you're looking for this team to take on its personality, that's something you like to see. As Coach Maz mentioned in pregame interview with John, the Greater Metro is a grinder, much as the Classic 8 is. So,
well, coming up at halftime, we'll have a chance to talk with a few of our sponsors and take a look at the highlights from this exciting first half. That's all coming up during our halftime report here on the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights, presented by U.S. Cellular.
you know, we can't quite see on camera the crowd across the way. Arrowhead's brought some students, but you alluded to the fact Arrowhead's going to play 3 games before they're ever in school this year. Marquette will be in school next week, probably much to the chagrin of those guys. But, you know, once again, I think there has to be a way of looking at the system as it now is and finding a way so that we don't have to have practices starting August 1st. And, you know, they got to examine that whole thing about when do you have the state championship game? Is the deer hunting component really that critical?
Yeah, that has got to, from what I've talked to other people, they said that's really a non-starter. The WIA is not going to budge on that, and that's a shame because, again, I think start this season in early August, or in some cases, for these two teams, they were able to start practice on July 31st.
They had to get
for this game.
They had to get the right number of practices, and I know, you know, most of the coaches are in agreement that they can't keep starting this early, that it is a detriment to the sport. So hopefully, as they move forward, the two sides can sit down and try to work out a solution so that the whole sport benefits.
Jeff Machurik, Coach Maz, 9th season here at Marquette. I think this is going to be a team to contend with here in the Greater Metro. I know Brookfield Central, their coaches are here tonight. I saw Jet Kennedy and Coach Camerata and crew.
Ranked number 1 in the preseason poll in the Milwaukee area, Brookfield Central. Outstanding team.
And because of that penalty, Marquette kicking off at the Arrowhead 45-yard line, and Mitchell will drive this one into the end zone. Special thanks tonight to Dan Dan for providing wonderful food, and they'll be doing so each and every week for our Thursday Night Lights staff and crew. You can check them out at dandanmke.com. That's dandanmke.com for their complete menu and delivery options.
Found it very tasty.
It was very tasty. You remember I used to probably take the grandkids to the zoo? Did you ever take them there during feeding time?
That's what the crew
That's
looked
exactly
like.
what it looked like about 2 hours before kickoff tonight. Following the touchback, up the middle, going over the right side, Robbie Lindemann with the carry. Nolan Wagner making the stop defensively for Marquette. Get Arrowhead with 2 timeouts remaining here. Gain of 2 sets up a 2nd and 8.
Nolan played some last year. He's also a wrestler for the Hilltoppers.
Multi-sport athletes, that's what stood out prepping for this week's game with Marquette. A lot of 2 and sometimes 3 sport athletes here for Marquette: track, wrestling, football.
Yeah, Arrowhead as well. Coaches have realized specialization isn't always to the betterment of the athlete or sports.
O'Brien able to step up, make the play, brings up 3rd and long now for Arrowhead. Clock continues to roll. 1:45 remaining here in this first half.
Yeah, O'Brien going into this season was an offensive lineman. And they moved him to linebacker.
And now we got a delay here, at least a legal participation call here. I think the back judge noting that one of the teams broke the huddle with 12 players. It's going to go against Marquette. And that is going to be close to a first down here via penalty. Let's see where they step this off. And it will be enough for a first down. A Bryant and Stratton College first down here for Arrowhead. Each team getting a first down tonight via penalty. So Witter in there now as one of the receivers, Jonathan Witter. 4 receiver look here for Darrow. Comes back over the middle, completes the pass at the 35-yard line. Gain of 5, tackled inbounds, both Matthews and O'Brien there for Marquette. Keeps the clock rolling here for Arrowhead. There's Witter, number 8. And Darrow will work from the pistol. Slot receiver here to the near side. The movement up front. False start penalty here on Arrowhead. Let's head back to the sideline once again, Mr. Mike McGivern.
So guys, the offensive coordinator for Marquette really likes the tempo the last 2 times they've had the ball. He's thinking the tempo is really wearing Arrowhead down, and I can tell you this, the substitutions from here on out go through Coach Maz. I heard that myself.
Very good, Mike. Very good. Yeah, Jake Giuseppe, we mentioned it. Got his offense in a rhythm, and there's Darrow going down for a sack. Darren Crawford, able to come up with the sack, first of the night for the Marquette defense. And he'll set up a 3rd and long here. Clock stopped, 27 seconds to go. Arrowhead, or is it Marquette going to take the timeout here? Marquette will take their 2nd timeout with 27 seconds to go here in the half. Crawford just coming off the edge that time, the right side, able to get in for the sack.
Yeah, they've still been working with just that 3-man rush, trying to cover those flats. The linebacker did pick the backup coming out of the backfield.
So the Hilltoppers down to 1 timeout left. Arrowhead has 2 remaining, and Arrowhead facing a 3rd and 16 from their own 24 when play resumes. But hey, Marquette answered the challenge here tonight. Down 7-0. They turned the ball over on that high snap punt inside their own 15-yard line. And following that, they followed that up with an 80-yard drive. Then Arrowhead on the ensuing drive got deep into Marquette territory. They force a fumble, come right back, march at 70 yards the other way to take the lead.
Now what you got to watch out for is you don't want to give Arrowhead in a 3rd and long situation a chance to get one more play to possibly throw it deep.
Yeah, you have Mr. Schleicher out there. After a couple of catches early in this first half, has been relatively quiet.
They had the one pattern that Darrow did not see earlier in the half when they had the wheel pattern open. Don't know if they'll go back to that.
Schleicher's lined up here near side. They fake that. They go with the run. Lindemann up the middle and just to run out the clock. And let's see. Maz will take his final timeout here and at least force Arrowhead to punt. O'Brien, again, the inside linebacker there for the Hilltoppers to make the stop.
as a former offensive lineman, I think he's probably finding this is a better way to pass his time in the evening playing football.
Keith Klestinski, the defensive coordinator for Marquette.
Longtime track coach here, teaches AP biology. One of the things in talking to both staffs, Marquette is in a similar situation to Arrowhead. Only 3 of Marquette's coaches, 4 total in the whole program, are teachers. They've got 14 alums who come back as part-time helpers. They're lawyers, insurance salesmen, you name it. And Fritz Rauch was talking about the same thing with his staff. He's got a couple of aides. But once again, to combine your career of teaching and working heavily academic subjects, Maz happens to be the alumni director. They've got a theology teacher working with the 2 and an English teacher with the freshman staff.
Let's see if the Hilltoppers set up some sort of a rush here on the punt. Robbie Simden gets a good snap. It's a knuckling punt. Hubert across the 45, midfield, down to the Arrowhead 45-yard line with 10 seconds to go here in this first half. For maybe 2 plays here. Culleton Borkowitz there to make the stop on special teams for Arrowhead. Well, if you're Coach Maz, what do you got in your playbook here with 10 seconds left?
I don't think they'll let Coach Maz get to the offensive side of the ball. I think Jake
okay,
Josetti.
Jake Josetti, what does he got up his sleeve?
I wonder if he'll try to hit a quick pass out to that the 2 wide receivers. Try to either get a quick first down or step out of bounds so they can be just a little deeper.
2 by 2, slots left and slots right here for the Hilltoppers. A little hitch coming back near side. Thompson with the catch, spins out of bounds at the 41-yard line. You haven't missed a beat, Coach Kelly.
Well, they didn't usually let me call offensive plays either. So, but from a defensive point of view, you know what to anticipate. Now you know where the ball's going.
Okay.
Now, I would say last year, having watched Marquette, there is a time when they try to get their tight end, Novotny, to get out. I see Richardson's in there right now.
Well, Novotny is lined in a double slot here to the left side. Let's see if they go that route.
Try to isolate him.
McDivitt on the scramble, buying some time, and he's going to go down to end this first half. Back at the 42-yard line, Arrowhead will get the sack to end this first half. But Marquette answers. 14 straight here for the Hilltoppers to take a 7-point lead into the locker room here at halftime in Wauwatosa. Hilltoppers 14, Warhawks 7. Our Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by U.S. Cellular on My 24. 14 unanswered points by Marquette University High, and the Hilltoppers lead this one here at the half by a score of 14-7. With Terry Kelly, John Weiser back with you up in the booth. And tell you what, both these teams, you talk about preparing for your conference. I don't think you could find a better matchup than this one here tonight.
Right, both coaches, have expressed the opinion. You want to play somebody in that first game who's going to challenge you. So you do find out what you have or what you need to shore up and change. And I think, they're going to be talking about it at halftime. What are some things they've noticed? And then it'll be interesting to see what little wrinkles each team's going to come out with to begin the second half. Are they going to do some motions, try to create some coverage problems? Are you going to see a little bit of different defensive looks?
We mentioned it during the broadcast early in the second quarter. I thought Jake Giuseppe, the offensive coordinator for Marquette, found his rhythm, play calling, got his team moving the ball, prevented Arrowhead from making some substitutions, tired out that defense, particularly on the 2 long drives for touchdowns.
And going along with that is trying to get your quarterback into a rhythm. Here's a young man who didn't get a chance to play a lot last year, a little bit, but did not have, game after game. So it's very important to get him into that rhythm.
And getting Dalian Brown-Williams over 100 yards here in this first half.
Right. And from Arrowhead's point of view, Tommy Darrow has looked very good. He's an effective runner, throws the ball well. And so the turnovers have, really hindered what they've been able to accomplish. But once again, opening game, you're going to see some of those mistakes.
And the fact that Marquette has cashed one of them in for points here tonight, both teams turning the ball over. Arrowhead 3 turnovers, Marquette with 2 tonight.
And I'm sure both coaches are telling their squads, we've shot ourselves in the foot a number of times. A couple penalties for Marquette came at inopportune times. And so those are the little wrinkles you've got to iron out as you get, into that locker room. And I think people would be surprised how cerebral the locker room is. They're not yelling and screaming and carrying on. You've got too many things to talk about.
Speaking of things to talk about, let's head down to the sideline. Our John Pearson has a very special guest here at halftime.
Yes, we do, and much more cerebral than the people in the booth is Jake Fincher from Sweetwater, and respect our waters here. Once again, back out here, and the one person that enjoys being called the water nerd is Jake, and we're so proud to have you back and to be working with you again here, and the points of emphasis of what you're doing and what introducing Sweetwater is all about and respect our waters. What are you emphasizing most right now?
That it's cool to be a water nerd, I guess. So we're just out here just helping people remember that it's simple little things that we can do that help keep our water clean. It's not big government change or big businesses polluting our water. It's a simple little thing like storms that wash pollution into our local waterways. So it's up to us to make sure that that pollution doesn't happen.
And when you're with the high school kids, it's funny how well educated they are in some things along these lines, because we think, we're going to come out here and you're going to explain it to them. But I've watched you working with them, and there's some things that they already get, and then they have really good questions for you.
Oh, high schoolers, grade schoolers. I mean, some grade schoolers that I've worked with, when I think about, being back in 4th grade, I was like chewing on Legos and things, and these kids are building like smart rain barrels that are hooked up to their iPhones that can tell when it's going to rain and when they need to empty out the rain barrel. It's fantastic. So it's going a long way, but there's a lot of stuff that we still need to learn as adults and as kids, is that simple little things that we do on our lawns wash into our rivers and our lakes.
And when I was in high school, I was still eating paste. But in your honor, I eat biodegradable paste now, so it's very exciting. But talk about the Adopt a Storm Drain program, because it doesn't sound like something a lot of people would think of. But what exactly is Adopt a Storm Drain to try to get things done and let people understand it?
Yeah, so again, I'm harping on this little things that make a big change for our water quality. So when it rains, that washes pollution into our streets and off of our driveways and off of our lawns. Things like fertilizer, pet waste, that all gets washed into the street, and those go into storm drains. And those storm drains, more often than not, go directly into our rivers and our lakes. So we have this Adopt a Storm Drain program. If you visit our website, respectourwaters.org, and then go to Adopt a Storm Drain, you'll find out what that program is. And essentially, it's just keeping that storm drain that you adopt clear of debris. And so it's just a simple little thing, but again, it makes a really, really big difference. And that's the number one source of water pollution, is that water being swept into their drains.
All right, again, it's respectourwaters.org. And guys, we're going to throw it back to you, and we're going to eat some Legos and paste.
Okay.
All right.
Enjoy. Thank you, Jacob Fincher. And John Pearson, as always, down on the sideline. 14-7, Marquette, 2 long drives in that first half to take the lead here at the half. Back with more of our halftime programming right after this. Welcome back to our halftime report here on the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights, presented by U.S. Cellular. 14-7, Marquette on top of Arrowhead, a cross-conference battle here between the Greater Metro and the Classic A. Well, this week's Games to Watch brought to you by the Big 920 WOKY. Games to watch tomorrow night include, we have a big one out in Waterford, Franklin at Waterford. Franklin, the consensus pick for the Southeast Conference. Waterford, a challenger for that Southern Lakes League. Muckwonago taking on Catholic Memorial, a big Classic 8 matchup out in Waukesha. And Homestead travels to Port Washington in a North Shore opener. And on the Big 920 game of the week, it'll be Kettle Moraine versus Waukesha West. That's on 9:20 a.m. or use the iHeartRadio app keyword the Big 920. Kettle Moraine taking on Waukesha West. Once again, down to the sideline and Mr. Pearson.
Well, it's a much better vetting process for the U.S. Army than we have here. I am proof that we need a much better vetting process. But Staff Sergeant Brock Brown, who goes around to the schools, you said you cover 13 schools as you're going around here, and What is the message? Because you're out here with high school football, it's going to be a little different atmosphere than when you're trying to build those relationships. What is your main message when you're just trying to kind of get to know who's interested and what the Army could possibly do for them?
Yeah, we're trying to get the message out that we're not all about infantry and combat. There's over 150 different jobs in the Army. The Army can help you educationally, can help you professionally. It's not just a job, it's a career. And if you choose to do it, it's going to provide you some purpose, some motivation, maybe some direction, maybe a combination of all the three. And we just want highly qualified individuals to come in, do their part. If they like it, stay in. If not, great, get out and take the education benefits that the Army has to offer.
And to put a human face on it a little bit, because again, the Army is a concept to them. The person that is you, how much responsibility is there for you to be not the big scary soldier, but also to be very upfront with them that, yeah, there's work involved with being in the Army, but you're trying to find the very best candidates for being a part of what you're a part of.
Yes, yeah, definitely. We are not just soldiers, so I try to portray the message. I'm also a husband and a father. So I wear the uniform, but not 24/7. So I get to go home, I get to be a regular civilian, I get to interact with my family, and I get to be Sergeant Brown at work, and I get to be Brock Brown at home.
And to be out here with these kids here, and it's, again, different atmosphere than sitting one-on-one. You're having to get their attention a little bit. How comfortable is that conversation? Somebody's walking by, they might be interested, they might be a little leery about coming up and talking to you. How do you kind of keep their attention and also just, again, humanize what you're talking about?
You try not to be invasive. I'm not here to be scary. I'm just here to give you the information and help you make an informed decision. My job is to guide you through the process if that is something that you want to do. Tell you about my Army story, because everybody's Army story is different and their experiences are different, and how that can help you in life and maybe get you to where you want to go in the next 5 years, 10 years, or so forth.
All right, and thank you for walking me through this, guys.
Guys, thank you very much. And Staff Sergeant Brock Brown, we thank you for your service. 14-7, Marquette on top of Arrowhead. Back with more here at halftime in Hart Park in Wauwatosa right after this. Welcome back to our halftime report here on the Heiser Automotive Group's Thursday Night Lights, presented by U.S. Cellular. 14-7 in favor of Marquette here at the half, and it was actually Arrowhead that got on the board first here tonight. A high snap over the punter's head that set them up inside the 20-yard line.
And Robbie Lindemann powered his way in, got into the end zone, got that first score.
That put Arrowhead up 7-0, but Marquette went right back to work following that touchdown. The ensuing kickoff went 80 yards on that touchdown drive.
Right, and we see
Brown Williams.
He's already run for 109 yards his first half.
That tied the game at 7, and then after the fumble, Marquette driving, and then the incredible catch by Reed Thompson in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah, Thompson's got 3 receptions so far this evening, and Ubert has picked up 5.
So a great first half here. I think both offensive coaches have to be pleased with what's gone on. It's the turnovers that have hurt Arrowhead here tonight. They've turned it 3 times, Marquette cashing 1 in. Arrowhead also cashing in 1 of 2 Marquette turnovers tonight.
Right, and Marquette has also found themselves plagued a little bit by some inopportune penalties. Stopped one drive for sure.
So an exciting first half here, 14-7, Marquette on top of Arrowhead. And they get right into conference play next week for Marquette. They've got another matchup that has given them trouble over the last couple years.
Right, they've found themselves, a couple different teams have seemed to plague them. Brook Central has certainly had their number a little bit. And then, Sussex Hamilton last year won a real tight game with them and helped put them into that 0-3 start.
And Arrowhead gets right into the meat grinder, if you will, of that Classic 8 conference, getting right back into it next week.
Right, and every time you go out in the Classic 8, you're going to run into somebody, whether it's Waukesha West, Kettle Moraine, who's got a much improved squad. We know that Muskego has really got a group coming back this year, another highly regarded team in the Milwaukee area.
Yeah, it's pick your poison is trying to get to 4 wins in that Classic 8 conference again this year.
Yeah. Arrowhead goes Muskego, CMH, Kettle Moraine.
The gauntlet, as they would call it. 14-7, Marquette on top of Arrowhead here at the half. John Weiser, Terry Kelly, Mike McGivern with you tonight from Hart Park in Wauwatosa. And welcome back to our halftime report here on the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights, presented by U.S. Cellular. Marquette on top of Arrowhead, 14-7 here at the break. Well, we talked about some of the key players in that first half. Let's have a look at the stat line here tonight for both teams. And there you go. Arrowhead actually winning the total yards, I should say, very close. Arrowhead getting the passing game going, but Marquette the ground game, particularly with DeLeon Brown Williams. He has been superb tonight.
I would think coming into the game, people wouldn't have anticipated Marquette rushing for 145. Now, for Arrowhead, 60 some of those yards have come from their quarterback, Tommy Darrow.
And the turnovers tonight, Arrowhead actually with 3 turns tonight with the fumble, the 2 fumbles and a pick, and then Marquette having the 1 turnover, that interception, but we call that snap over the punter's head that set up that first touchdown by Arrowhead. A turnover, maybe not quite the definition of one, but it certainly turned the field in favor of Arrowhead for that first touchdown score.
Yeah, definitely set up Lindemann's score.
So that's where we stand here tonight. Individually, you had some individual numbers. I think DeLeon Brown Williams was over 100 yards so far tonight rushing.
Well, Darrow, as we mentioned from the other side, had 66 yards rushing, 102 passing, and we saw that DeLeon Brown Williams has rushed himself 109 yards and touchdown. McDevitt is 9 for 15, 72 yards in that touchdown. And
you mentioned McDevitt not playing all that much last year at quarterback, but we liked what we saw at the scrimmage Friday night out at Mukwonago, and in particular against a more physical Mukwonago team in that second round of that scrimmage. I thought he held out pretty good.
Right, he threw for 18 for 34 last year, doing some fill-in. Also a baseball player, very strong student. He's a 3.7 GPA, and so we know he's got the mental ability. And now, 6 feet, 176 pounds, good size. A couple of really good receivers, and having that running attack to help open that passing up really has benefited him.
And again, to have that touch to lead Thompson to that back corner pylon on that touchdown reception that gave Marquette the lead here late in this second quarter, that takes finesse there on the part of the quarterback. And I mean, you're two and a half weeks into practice here, and you've got that touch already. You've got that combination receiver and quarterback looking for each other.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Arrowhead does to respond to Marquette's rushing attack. Are they going to go in a little bit more 4-man front? Are they going to try to do that? And conversely, what's Marquette going to try to do? Trying to do more of the same? Are they going to throw a couple new wrinkles in to see if they can take advantage? If Arrowhead does try to maybe take away the run, do they have something to augment their passing game?
Marquette will get the ball to start this second half, so it'll be the Marquette offense going to work here. You mentioned in your keys to the game tonight, Terry, play with urgency for Arrowhead. Did we see that here tonight?
I think they tired out as they got into that second quarter. I know that we heard their coaches on Monday kind of yelling at the guys, hey, where's your fire? Where's that drive? Okay, they've had a chance to recoup now at halftime. We'll see who comes out and tries to get to the kind of put that metal, pedal to the metal.
Arrowhead kicking team set to go here to begin this second half. And again, we've got web streaming tonight. You can check out the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by U.S. Cellular, streaming live online, my24milwaukee.com. You can take that with you, complete game photos, information, stats, and more. Occasionally a picture of Terry Kelly and myself. We apologize for that, but and we also have the rebroadcast coming up this Sunday night at 7. So tune in for that Sunday night at 7 during the football season. My24milwaukee.com. We will have that for you.
This is just a tremendous opportunity for these athletes to get a chance to see themselves. You watch college, the pro game. Well, it's nice to see it at this level and to see where things really get started.
Thompson and Hubert will stand deep here. And it'll be a low kick Hubert will pick up off the bounce inside his own 10. Cuts it back outside the numerals across the 20 and to the 26-yard line. 18-yard return here for Hubert. Able to get him set. Evan Burns in there on special teams, able to get down the field for Arrowhead. So Mike McDivitt, 6 foot, 176-pound senior. Going to take over here offensively. Let's head down to the sideline, Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, number 17, Mike McDevitt, who is the quarterback at Marquette, he was warming up. And all of a sudden he said, look, I can't move my fingers. His hand cramped up. They're working on him right now. I think he'll be back. But it's something I'd not seen before. The guy from Mosh is taking good care of him.
This is Briscoe, Leo Briscoe starting out here at quarterback. And Arrowhead defense all over DeLeon Brown-Williams. Gain of 1 on the play. We'll have to follow that as Briscoe now is the quarterback for Arrowhead, or for Marquette, I should say. And now we've got an injured Arrowhead player that's slow to get up. This quarter, our first downs are brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. That's Jack Hazard, the injured Arrowhead player, needing some assistance to the far sideline. So Briscoe will take over here for McDivitt while they get him worked on here on the sideline. And he's going to throw. Swings it out to Thompson near side, makes the catch across the 40, and driven out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Gain of 10 on the play. Jacob Bore able to get him to the sideline here on the near side.
Yeah, we saw Briscoe in this scrimmage they had with McWanago and Homestead, and he was also throwing the ball well. Had to have a little surgical procedure, I think, done late last spring because of a reoccurring problem he had. So
Brown-Williams, the single back in the backfield. 1st and 10 for Briscoe. Brown-Williams, big hole over the left side. Inside the Arrowhead 44-yard line. 16-yard pickup by DeLeon Brown-Williams. Nick Wolfile making the tackle for Arrowhead. So DeLeon Brown-Williams, the 5'7" senior, making a name for himself here tonight. Briscoe's going to keep it going over the left side. Briscoe with a hole inside the 35 down to the 32-yard line. Another pickup of 11. Owen Arnett able to pick it up, and another first down brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Well, Jake Giusetti not missing a beat here with his starting quarterback on the sideline. Briscoe picking up the rhythm here. That stacked receivers, Thompson and Hubert here the near side. The ride will go to Brown-Williams. DeLeon Brown-Williams flag on the play as he gets it down to the 21-yard line. A 9-yard pickup, but I think this one will be coming back. Preliminary signal holding against Marquette. Brian Rippenberg able to make that stop. The outside linebacker, Brady Rippenberg, I should say, making that stop for Arrowhead. So 10 yards from the spot of that foul will move the football back to the Arrowhead 39-yard line. Just underway, second half. First possession here for Marquette, who lead it here by 7. Briscoe again working from pistol. 3 receivers left side. He's going to come back with a little bubble route screen, inside screen. Catch is made by Hubert, but just a small pickup of about 3. Dalton Elrod, the inside linebacker, was right there, ready to make the play.
Yeah, they reacted to that very well. Elrod came up from that inside position and was able to bring Hubert down.
So it sets up 2nd and 17 for the Hilltoppers. Hubert in a slot left side. DeLeon Brown-Williams trying to spin out of a tackle, met at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard, that's it. Again, Johnny Orlando, linebacker on that side of the field, able to make the stop, the junior for Arrowhead.
Jack Hazard just came back in for Arrowhead, and Arrowhead's responded well. That little penalty broke the momentum for Marquette.
trips here to the near side with Thompson and Hubert. And they'll pitch it out to De Leon. Brown Williams inside the 30 down to the 26-yard line. Short of the first down. It'll bring up fourth down here into decision time for Coach Maz and the Marquette Hilltoppers.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Jake go for it. They don't have the long field goal kicker like they had last year with Martinez.
Play getting signaled in. Marquette's offense will stay out there on 4th and 6 from the Arrowhead 27-yard line. Leo Briscoe directing traffic at the quarterback spot. Going with a hard count. And they'll take the delay, trying to draw Arrowhead offside.
I don't think that was their intention as I read Jake Josetti's body language.
There's Coach Maz. So the 5-yard walk-off. I think they're still going to keep the offense out there.
Yeah, the ball's at the 32, so you figure if you punt into the end zone, you know.
It's a net of 12. Yeah, I get what they're thinking. They'll roll De Leon Williams out here to the near side. Throw back over the middle. Grab is made at the 5. Spinning down inside the 5-yard line with that catch, Jake Novotny, the tight end. His first catch tonight, 6'5", 190, the junior. And a big catch it was. First and goal, Marquette.
You remember at the end of the first half, I was talking about that tight end being a pattern they like to go to.
24-yard pickup. They'll spot it at the 8. They'll go quads here to the left side. Direct snap to De Leon Brown Williams. He'll turn the corner near side. Did he get to the pylon?
Yes.
He did. Touchdown, Marquette. Riley Nowakowski taking the direct snap.
Got an excellent block there on the edge on Hazard to free up Riley Nowakowski, who's a linebacker for Marquette.
So a little bit of wildcat action here by Josetti. Huh? Yes.
Well, Jake Josetti's playbook is about 1,000 pages in length. It's like a great novel.
Mitchell for the extra point. It is up and it is good. 21 unanswered by the Hilltoppers, and they take a 21-7 lead here early in this third quarter, taking the opening kickoff of this third quarter and cashing it in on the 8-yard run by Nowakowski. And again, overcoming a couple of penalties. The holding penalty that kind of took them out of rhythm, then the delay on fourth down pushed him back to the 32, and then the 24-yard pickup on fourth down, the huge catch by Novotny, his first tonight.
Yeah, Novotny is a basketball player. You know, his sophomore last year, he saw quite a bit of time. Now back for his junior year. Comes from quite a long line of people who followed Marquette football. His father, Dan, was a very good quarterback for us. Saw Dan and his wife at the scrimmage, and if you remember, I commented it was good that Jake inherited his mother's athletic ability, and she agreed. I thought that was kind of an interesting side note.
Stay tuned at the end of the game tonight. We will highlight our player of the game. That's brought to you by the U.S. Army, Army Strong. We already got a couple of candidates in line for that award tonight.
Right, and this game's got a long way to go. There are a lot of twists and turns to still play their way through in this.
Schleicher and Zuchis standing deep. Schleicher inside his own 10. Cuts right side. Breaks a couple of tackles. Gets it out to the 24-yard line. 15-yard return out to the 24. Will set up Arrowhead their first possession here in the second half. It was Harrison Draper that came in to make that play. So Tommy Darrow, starting quarterback, the junior, has thrown 1 pick tonight. Gets that Arrowhead offense back out there. He will work from pistol formation here. He'll fake the handoff, wants to swing it out, completes the pass to Witter. Across the 30 and out to the 35-yard line where he is dumped down there. Patrick Curry has had quite a ball game defensively with an interception and 6 tackles now. Able to make the stop along with O'Brien.
Yeah, Witter's been a favorite target of Darrow tonight. That's, I believe, his 4th reception so far this evening.
Enough for a first down, a Gruber Law Office's first down for Arrowhead. Ball at the 36-yard line. 1st and 10, Warhawks. Trips to the right side here for Arrowhead. And Darrow's going to throw it out. And it's a low throw, and it is incomplete.
The play before this, you see a little wrinkle that Arrowhead's trying to do. They kind of do a little shuffle motion with that back, and then suddenly he comes out into the flat. Causes a problem for your linebacker coverage.
Evan Prangy was the intended receiver on that one. Short hop Prangy, so it brings up 2nd down 10. Four receivers. Double slot here for the Warhawks. Darrow with time. Completes. Near side, Robbie Simden. Out to the 41-yard line. Took a pretty good shot from Matthews, who got him down to the turf. Pickup of 5. It'll set up 3rd and 5 here for Arrowhead at their own 41-yard line. Lindemann the single back. Witter in motion. Fake to Lindemann. Darrow rolling right. Being chased out of the pocket now. Will cut it upfield and get out of bounds. Trying to get a block by Witter. Was going to try and clearing out some space, but Riley Nowakowski, who scored that touchdown on that direct snap. That linebacker there to chase him to the boundary.
Now it looks like Arrowhead's going to punt here, but once again, they're special teams. They're special teams coaches, great reputations. You know, you've got a guy like Jeff Steinbach who's been around forever, and you know, they spend a lot of time. They begin practice with special teams and then try to make that part of their, offense just as easily.
Simden into punt here on 4th down. Hubert expecting to receive a punt here. We'll let this one hit the turf and get away. We'll take an Arrowhead roll inside the 25 and we'll roll dead just inside the 20-yard line. 7 minutes to go here, 3rd quarter, 21-7. Let's head down to the sideline and Mike McGivern.
So guys, maybe I spoke too quickly. I'm not sure Mike McDevitt is going to get back in. They are still working on that hand. The cramping in his hand is not going away as quickly as they thought. So at this point right now, he might not come back tonight.
All right, Mike, thanks for the update. So it'll be Leo Briscoe remaining in there. Well, that's why you build depth.
Right.
And Briscoe did a very nice job handling that last drive. Alonzo Silva in now in the backfield, and he's going to get the call here. His first carry tonight. He gets a couple. Fighting forward, still moving forward out to the 25-yard line. That couple turned into 5 just like that.
Yeah, neither of the running backs for Marquette. DeLeon Brown-Williams is 153. Alonzo Silva is only 163, but they both run hard.
Silva 5'9", 163, a junior, another track player, another one that uses that sport. Sets up a 2nd and 5 now. Hubert in motion. He'll take the snap. Rolling out left side is Hubert. Penalty marker down as he makes the 30-yard line. Out to the 31. Has enough for the first down, but I think this will be coming back. Johnny Orlando was there to make the tackle for the Warhawks.
I think they're going to get a holding on Marquette's wide receiver out there. It's so tough to convince kids keep their hands inside.
Way Novotny is kind of palms out looking to his sideline. He might have been the guilty party.
Yeah, what, me?
So the holding call negates the first down. Again, in high school, it's from the spot of the foul, so this will move this back to the 21 and replay the down, make it a 2nd and 9 here for Marquette. And we're midway through our 3rd quarter. Marquette with 21 unanswered to lead here by 14. Briscoe trying to stand tall in the pocket, and it collapses around him, and down he goes back at the 14-yard line. That pressure from 2-3 different players that time by Arrowhead right up the middle. I think it might have been Tanner Barrett. Check that. Brady Rippenberg who got in there first. Let's take another look. It was a blitz up the middle, and yeah, it was Rippenberg who got there for the sack.
Outside linebacker folded in, came up the gut.
So 3rd and long now for the Hilltoppers. 3rd and 16. Briscoe going to flare it out far sideline, and it throws it incomplete. Intended for Michael Richardson. Overthrown, and Marquette forced to punt the penalty, taking some of that momentum away.
I see McDevitt down here on the sideline throwing the ball as well as catching it. So it's hard to say, you know, what exactly caused that cramp. Once again, this has been kind of a thrill a minute with their long snaps here. Marquette special teams coaches are probably saying, okay, we need this now.
Mitchell from his own goal line to punt this one away. Gets a good snap. Strong rush, gets a nice punt away. Driving punt, Schleicher will take, bobble, hits the turf, ball still loose, and Arrowhead able to fall on it. As Schleicher had trouble with that one at his own 48-yard line, and we will take a break. 5:29 to go here in the 3rd. Marquette up 21-7 on Arrowhead. Our Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by U.S. Cellular. Two-touchdown lead here for Marquette. They're up 21-7 over Heartland Arrowhead. Hey, it's the final weekend of Wisconsin Timber Rattlers baseball here on My 24. Catch the Rattlers battling the Cedar Rapids Colonels Saturday night at 6:30 and again Sunday afternoon at 1 right here on my place for sports, and that would be My 24. Midwest League Baseball. Gotta love it. Back to my roots. Lindemann on the carry here for Arrowhead, stopped at the line of scrimmage and driven back. Riley Nowakowski, who is having quite the second half here, scored a touchdown here earlier in the 3rd quarter. He's made a couple of key tackles here in the last 2 drives for the Marquette defense.
Yeah, now Arrowhead got set up here with pretty good field position. You know, that holding penalty took Marquette out of its drive. Now Arrowhead's got to see if they are able to capitalize on that.
Schleicher and Prangy lined up here to the near side with Lindemann the single back behind Darrow. 2nd down 10. Ball at the 49 of Arrowhead. Got to get this one away. Back judge already counting, and they just do get it away. Darrow now on the keep. Searches up the middle, and he runs right into the Marquette defense right at midfield. That was Vince Nigro. 6', 222 junior. Two-sport athlete. You'll see him on the hardwood later this fall.
Yeah, he's a little scary when you see him in a basketball uniform. 6 feet, 222 pounds.
Well, 3rd and long here for Arrowhead. See what they do here. They want to go trips here to the near side.
They like to look for Schleicher, but you've got to be aware of the back out of the backfield.
Schleicher is the single receiver to the far side here. Darrow with time. Steps out to his right.
And there's back.
Lindemann out of the backfield. Inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line. A 15-yard pickup and a first down. A Gruber Law Office first down. Tackle made by the cornerback, Javon Matthews.
That was a situation where the quarterback broke free. Both linebackers came rushing toward him, and that freed up Lindemann to come out.
They'll do the same formation, opposite side of the field here. Trips to the far side on 1st and 10 from the 34. They swing it out. Schleicher with the catch. Schleicher, Nice little run after the catch. Down to the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 9. Let's head to the sideline once again, and Mike McGivern.
Well, what we're talking about now with Mike McDevitt, he's taking snaps and starting to throw the ball a little bit. And hands starting to feel a little bit better. Looks like he's going to give it a shot. And next time they get the ball, he might be in that quarterback.
All right, good news if you're a Hilltopper fan. McDevitt getting back in there, perhaps as soon as the next series. 2nd and 1 for Arrowhead. Lindemann around the right side will pick up the first down just inside the 25-yard line. Needed 2, got 2. Vince Nigro again in on the stop for the Hilltoppers. They're going to take time here for a measurement. It's the first one of the year.
Yes.
They don't have to go far to stretch that out.
Don't do that.
Now, if they happen to be short, one of the things we saw Arrowhead working on in their practice on Monday was that RPO. Fake that dive to the back, see what the linebackers do, and if they free up your receivers, quick pop pass by Tommy Darrow to that open man.
2 links shy. That's what they said about me when I played football. 2 links shy wiser. Well, special thanks to Dan for providing wonderful food each week for our Thursday Night Lights staff and crew. You can check them out online at dandanmke.com for their complete menu and delivery options. Dan, we thank you. Crew was well fed tonight. Took some of the orneriness out of them from the heat tonight. So
well, that crew's coming up from Peoria, Illinois, so they've got a long drive, and I'm sure they appreciated the excellent meal.
2 links shy. I think that was my radio name down in Peoria too.
One of your many radio names.
Well, 3rd and inches here from the 24. Lindemann again gets the call, and Lindemann gets it across the 24 down about the 23-yard line. Should have enough for a Gruber Law Office first down.
Good surge there as they came off. It looks like Jose Ramos was in the midst of that tackle, middle of the line.
Paddock, Webster, Freed, and Bennon, that offensive line tonight for Arrowhead. 1st and 10 for the Warhawks at the Marquette 23-yard line. We're late here in the 3rd quarter. Arrowhead trying to get some momentum back here, down 21-7. Empty the backfield, Lindemann in motion.
They've got a mismatch here on numbers.
Darrow is going to go down for a sack back at the 29-yard line. Had some time, and then quickly John O'Brien got in there along with Oliver Scranoli.
That was the name we were afraid was going to give us some problems.
Well, it just turned to George here. You got George Papa Christou, our spotter tonight. I'm sure he could give us some help.
Right, good Greek name.
We welcome George to our broadcast this year as our spotter on My 24. Papa, it's always good to see you. Loss of 5, 2nd and 15. Fake to Lindemann. Darrow again under pressure. Going to throw it away. Finds Lindemann, who makes the catch. Inside the 25, takes it down to the 21-yard line. Tommy Darrow will buy just enough time, and credit Lindemann for helping his quarterback out, coming back to the football, give him something to throw at before O'Brien made the stop.
Arrowhead felt that their backs were weapons. Now that time Lindemann was not an intended receiver, but Darrow kept his wits about him and scrambled and found him open.
Good pressure that time by Vince Nigro, the inside linebacker, who was bearing down on Darrow as he got that one away. Now 3rd and 10 from the 22, under a minute to go here in the 3rd. From the Hilltopper 22, play fake by Darrow, again under pressure, and again down he goes. Kevin Carrig able to get in there on the stop, on the sack. Pressure up front once again by that Marquette defense.
John O'Brien made the first contact. Carrick finishes him off.
So 4th down. 16 seconds to go here in the 3rd. Arrowhead will go for it here. Trips here to the near side. Schleicher is lined up as the single receiver right side. Darrell with time. He's looking for Schleicher. In back of the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Arrowhead. There's Rob Schleicher. Jacob Schleicher with that catch. We talked with Fritz Rauch. I think he beat Javon Matthews back there on 4th down. What a beautiful pitch and a nice catch by Jacob Schleicher. When we talked with Fritz at practice on Monday, chips are down, you absolutely need to make a play where you're looking. You're looking 11's way is where you're looking, and he makes the play.
And they've got 6 feet against 5'7". Advantage goes to the offensive.
And the extra point pulls Arrowhead to within 7, 21-14. Jacob Schleicher, 24-yard touchdown reception on 4th down. Able to haul that one in for his first touchdown reception of the season. With just over 1 second to go here in the 3rd, momentum shifts to the far side of the field here, and the Arrowhead Warhawks.
Yeah, Fritz Rauch talked about, his skill people, that he thought he had some real good people. And, we talked to the offensive coordinator, Scott Rice, quite a well-known name in Wisconsin football. Pat Rice is at Wanakee. His dad, Bill Rice, longtime coach, Hall of Fame coach at McFarland. And this is the 3rd offense in 3 years for Arrowhead. And Coach Rice was very pleased with how quickly his kids were adapting to all this new terminology, whole new system.
Listen to the Wendy's Varsity Blitz Show presented by your local Pick and Save stores this Saturday morning at 10. Our own Mike McGivern and Ryan McMillan will be talking to Lewis Brown, head coach at Franklin, about his team, the Southeast Conference. That's this Saturday morning at 10 on Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan. It's going to be an interesting matchup tomorrow night. Franklin at Waterford. I know they blew them out last year, 55-0, I think was the score up at Franklin. But tell you what, Coach Bakken in Waterford has got his team thinking about those 3 losses they had last year, all blowout losses. Hubert across the 25, hurdles to the 30, out to the 34-yard line, and that will end our 3rd quarter here tonight at Hart Park in Wauwatosa. Arrowhead back to within 7, Marquette 21. The Warhawks 14. Our Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by U.S. Cellular on My24. We got ourselves a ball game heading into the 4th quarter. Arrowhead has narrowed the gap, 21-14. And it's McDivitt back in there. We'll pitch it back. Alonzo Silva with the carry. Nice run over the left side. Gain of about 5, maybe 6. Nick Wolfile has had quite a ball game. 8 tackles tonight in that secondary for the Warhawks. Officially a gain of 5. Sets up 2nd and 5. Ball just short of the Hilltopper 40-yard line. And this is DeLeon Brown Williams back in there, and he takes out to the 47-yard line. Gain of 8 and a first down. Our first downs this quarter brought to you by Bryant and Stratton College Athletics. John Henry Schlager, nose tackle, able to make the play for Arrowhead. And we got an official stopping play here.
I think Arrowhead saw they had too many men on the field, called a timeout, saved the penalty.
Well, and I was, I look at the rules and what's the point of emphasis this year. One of the points of emphasis on the national level this year is just that, officials giving teams time to make player substitutions. And they're talking about a 12 to 18 second window there once the play is ended allowing teams who are going to make a substitution to make that substitution before they mark the ball in play.
Right, and you know, one of the things that happens with so many teams signaling their plays in from the sideline, you know, as you've worked through your preseason practices, you're trying to get that time reduced between plays so you can run more plays, plus try to tire out the defense.
I think I read it was about a 12 to 15 second window there. Official trying to look and make sure teams in that situation get a chance to sub. On the converse, officials this year point of emphasis making sure other teams don't take advantage when you're trying to run clock time off, taking an extra time, handing the ball to an official, or delaying the game while the clock is rolling, so to speak, trying to take a few more seconds off the clock. 1st and 10, Hilltoppers at their own 48-yard line. Novotny wants to, or I should say McDivitt wants to throw. Has a man open, looking for Reed Thompson, through his hands, incomplete. He tried to split 2 defenders, and the ball went right through his fingertips. Second time tonight that those two have
just missed.
Had a near completion.
Well, we talked about in the pregame that their short passing game, one of the things they want to do is help set up those deep throws. And you see McDevitt wind up that baseball body. It didn't miss by much.
No, he didn't. He put it on the outside shoulder, did a nice job leading his receiver away from the defense. 2nd and 10, Marquette. And this is Nowakowski, who got the touchdown early in the 3rd quarter with a nice little burst inside the 45 of Arrowhead. Dalton Elrod there to make the tackle.
Now that time, Arrowhead was trying to do a little twist with their end and their tackle, put pressure on.
Nowakowski stays in there. He'll get the handoff once again, and Nowakowski fighting for an extra yard or two and manages to get the first down. And Nowakowski, again, the 3rd back they've used tonight. Jack Hazen credited with the stop. One more look here in that 2nd and 3rd effort here by Nowakowski to drive forward and pick up that first down. Hubert lined up in a slot, far side, comes in motion, takes the handoff. Comes around the near side. Hubert getting a block. Out to the boundary here near sideline, near the 30-yard line. Gain of 10, maybe 11 on the play before Borey gave him the shove out of bounds. We've got an illegal shift call here against the Hilltoppers.
You know, you can see one of the things Marquette's trying to do here. You bring Nowakowski, a big body in, to try to pound that middle, and then all of a sudden you send Hubert wide on that little speed sweep. Now Nowakowski, you know, good size young man. You see what he's, 6'3", 217 pounds, but he also runs on their sprint relay teams. And once again, you see that statistic that's proved out in pro football. Most of the athletes who make it to that level played basketball and ran track, besides being football players.
Silva in there now at running back. He'll get the call here. Alonzo Silva inside the 45 to the 44-yard line following that penalty. Hazard able to make the stop once again, sets up a 2nd and 12 here for the Hilltoppers. Again, Hubert coming in motion, gets the handoff. Hubert with some running room. Hubert inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. Pickup of 10 by the slot receiver, James Hubert. Sets up a manageable 3rd down here for Marquette. 3rd and short for McDivitt. Again, Silva, the single back. Hubert comes in motion here to the near side, making a trip here to the near side, trips formation. Give it to Silva, and Silva's going to get the first down.
Once again, he ducked his head down, got underneath defensive players.
And again, Jake Giuseppe, the offensive coordinator, providing you all that eye candy with all that motion and trips formation, and then turns around, hands that ball off to Silva. It's another Bryant and Stratton College athletic first down here for Marquette. Big drive here for the Hilltoppers, trying to answer Arrowhead's touchdown. Shovel it out to Nowakowski. Coming near side, big burst of speed inside the 20 and out of bounds near the 15-yard line for Nowakowski. Riley Nowakowski, outside linebacker, now coming in at running back. Owen Arnett perhaps saved a touchdown there. Nice run.
Yeah, I got a block from James Hubert out there to help get Nowakowski around the end.
High snap, McDivitt having trouble with it, and he'll go down. Bobbled the snap, it was high. And by the time he got it under control, Johnny Orlando was in his grill and put him down for the sack.
So many teams running, spread offenses now. That center snap is crucial, and it's tough to do play after play when you're trying to make a block.
Pitch goes to Nowakowski. Gets it inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line. Nowakowski with a touchdown carry tonight. Opening drive of this third quarter.
I think Arrowhead might have just gotten a 15-yard penalty, and I'm not sure for what. Okay, spotter Papa tells us that might have given him a little shove after the tackle.
Bill Becker is our referee tonight. His crew. Well, that's a big one. Unsportsmanlike conduct. It'll be 15 yards, and that should be enough for a Marquette first down. Let's take another look. Nowakowski was getting up. He flipped the ball. Right there. Grady Rippenberg with that little shove.
I don't know how big of a shove that was.
Well, it might not necessarily have been the action. It might have been what was said while the action was going on.
Yeah, perhaps he's not a member of the forensics team and didn't quite use the proper vocabulary. Fritz Rauch is an English teacher. Is probably going to say, "What did you say something?" And
well, this will move the ball inside the 10-yard line. It'll still be fourth down. It'll be fourth and about 5.
Oh, wait a minute.
Giving him a loss of down off that penalty. I've got 3rd and 18, but the down marker says fourth down. It is fourth down because that was a dead ball penalty. So field goal attempt here. This will be a 37-yard, make the 27-yard attempt, and it's on the way, and it is good. Mike Mitchell, his first field goal attempt splits the uprights.
Marquette certainly didn't want to come away not having scored on that drive.
So they get 3 points out of this, extend their lead to 10, 24-14, and that was critical, getting points there. So they answer the Arrowhead touchdown with 3 points. Well, all season we'll have the opportunity to talk with sponsors, coaches, and other guests down on the sidelines, finding out what's going on in the schools and the communities we visit. Our sideline reports this season being brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. We thank them for jumping on board this year with our Thursday Night Lights telecast. We welcome them in.
Yeah, we need to thank all of our sponsors. They've been very loyal over the years, and I think it's marvelous that they help us showcase high school athletics.
So the 27-yard field goal extends the margin to 10 here for Marquette. A little bit of light rain beginning to fall here at Hart Park here in Wauwatosa. This will be a short kick, and it will get out of bounds. Not what you wanted there.
No.
So Arrowhead will come away with good field position here with that kick going out of bounds.
You know, that's that consistency you're trying to find as a kicker. You've just come through, kicked the field goal. Now you have to come back, tee it up, get a good deep kick.
Before they get this play away, let's head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, I'm here with Dr. Damian Kosempa from Midwest Orthopedic Sports Medicine. Doc, it's good to see you again.
Same to you, Mike. Nice to see you here.
Yeah, you bet. So this second half of the game, a lot of guys cramping up. I've never seen somebody cramp up in a finger like the quarterback from Marquette did. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, cramps are really common early in the season. They're just not in game shape quite yet. They've practiced, they've done the two-a-days, but they get a little dehydrated, and with being in a game, they just go all out, and their muscles cramp up a little bit. I think this hand thing was probably more traumatic. I think he got hit a little bit, so that's not truly a dehydration cramp, but that's what most of these are. The kids you see down on the sideline with the calves getting rolled out.
He's Dr. Damian Kosempa from Mosh, one of my favorite guys. Other than being a Racine St. Catherine's guy, I do enjoy him. Back to you, boys.
And nothing wrong with the St. Cat's guy coming from a St. Joe guy. So nice play by Lindemann, able to get away from Nowakowski. Make something out of nothing on that screen pass. Darrow, plenty of time. Coming back near side, catch is made out of bounds, however. Robbie Simden, the target that time, made the catch, but he was out of bounds in doing so. Sets up 3rd and long now for Arrowhead.
Critical play here. Marquette would certainly love to get the ball back. Arrowhead needs to keep the drive alive. Last time Marquette only rushed 3. Did give the Darrow quite a bit of time.
4 receivers, 2 by 2 here. Lindemann the single back in the backfield. Low snap. Darrow with time delivers, and Simden made the catch. Did he have it under control? Yes, he did. Short of the first down, however. Pickup of 8 makes it 4th and 1. Joe Pettit was there on the stop.
If I'm a betting man, I'm going to bet Arrowhead's going to go for it.
4th and 1 from their own 44. Four receivers, 2 by 2. Single back is Lindemann. Darrow looking back, makes the catch. Witter stays in bounds inside the 30 down to the 25-yard line. Back shoulder throw that time by Tommy Darrow. Javon Matthews lucky to be able to make that stop, otherwise Witter had some room to run. Big pickup for Arrowhead. They convert on 4th down. They keep the drive rolling to the Marquette 25. Darrow again. Rolling left. Is hit. Ball out. It is loose, and it is picked up by Marquette. 4th turnover of the game by Arrowhead. A costly fumble by Darrow. It was Nigro who came up with it. I think it was Curry who caused the hit. So Marquette defense steps up. 3rd time tonight they're forcing the takeaway.
Yeah, as we're talking about big plays of the game, that certainly could turn out to be what Marquette would look to. But now you have to run clock.
With Arrowhead driving a huge play defensively, they force the Darrow fumble. Marquette takes over at their own 26.
All right, now you see a little variation. They fake that speed sweep, and they give it to the back.
DeLeon Brown-Williams back in there. He was one of those players cramping up here early in this second half. He'll pick up 7, sets up 2nd and 3. Clock rolling, approaching 6.5 minutes to go here with the Hilltoppers up by 10. Mike McDivitt battled cramps in the hand, in his passing hand here in the second half. We'll hand it off to DeLeon Brown-Williams. Big hole up the middle. Brown-Williams cuts it at midfield into Arrowhead territory down to the Warhawk 47-yard line. 18-yard pickup and a Bryant and Stratton College first down. Owen Arnett finally getting Brown Williams to the turf. We get one more
Brown
look.
Williams, just a blitzer came from the outside and just missed it. So number 3 for Arrowhead, try to get in there, disrupt things. Johnny Orlando coming from that outside linebacker position.
Under 6 minutes to go. Lonzo Silva, the single back. He'll get the call. Right side. He'll pick up a couple, maybe 3, inside the 45, down to the 44-yard line. Lonzo Silva, Jr. They've rotated Silva in along with Nowakowski and DeLeon Brown, as Everett Fawley, reserve linebacker, in there to make the stop for Arrowhead. 2nd down, 7 from the 44. Again, Silva trying to work up the middle. Gets a couple once again, short of the 41. Gain of 3 sets up a 3rd and 4 upcoming here for the Hilltoppers. Hazard again in on the stop. He's had 5 tackles tonight for the Arrowhead defense.
Yeah, Arrowhead's been rotating a number of different linebackers in there. Once again, trying to find the group that can stop this drive.
DeLeon Brown Williams back in there now as the running back. He'll get the call. Tries to pick his way forward, patient, waiting for a block. Gets it down to the 38-yard line. I believe he's going to be short of the 1st down by about a yard. Elrod there to make the stop defensively for Arrowhead. 4th and 1 for Marquette with 4:15 to go in the game, leading by 10.
Okay, they brought Nowakowski in again, but I think they're going to maybe, what if they were going to run the clock down? Got to be careful here not to get a delay penalty.
This drive started with the Marquette defense recovering a Tommy Darrow fumble. Trying to extend it here. Nowakowski gets the call. 1st down, Marquette. Down to the 35-yard line. Riley Nowakowski able to pick up the 1st down and convert, and that will move the clock a little bit deeper here.
Heard the Marquette coaches earlier yelling, "Finish the job."
Yep.
And that's a very tough thing to do, to close out a game. I don't care what sport it is. You have to be able to do that.
Nathan Penix in now at a running back spot, replacing Nowakowski for Marquette. 1st and 10, Hilltoppers at the Arrowhead 35-yard line. Up by 10 here late in the 4th. Penix will get the call. Penix picking his way to the 30-yard line. Moving the pile forward, keeps it driving inside the 30 down to the 28. Johnny Orlando, another strong game for Orlando tonight. 7 tackles tonight for Johnny Orlando.
I mean, Arrowhead has seen some of their players really perform well. It's been those mistakes, the turnovers, that have really cost them big time.
Under 3 minutes to go. Arrowhead's got 2 timeouts remaining. They're going to have to start thinking about using one of them here. Hubert in motion. He'll take the pitch. Hubert coming around the left side. Hubert inside the 20, stays in bounds inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. Should be another Bryant and Stratton College athletic 1st down here for Marquette. And indeed it is. Gain of 10.
I think we have to, tip our hats to that offensive line. Marquette, Timmis, Silverman, Geringer, Sweezy, and Kowalik. Plus, you have to also mention the blocking by those wide receivers for so many of those plays.
Silva back in at a running back. Divot from the pistol. Give to Silva. Cuts it back up the middle. Inside the 15, stacked up there.
Nice little job as you watched him kind of work his way through. Not a blazer, but patient.
Again, clock rolling here, 2:15 to play, and Arrowhead finally will use their 2nd timeout here. They have 1 remaining, stopping the clock with 2:13 to play. We will take a break as well. Marquette up 10 and driving when we return to the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights presented by U.S. Cellular. Marquette up 10, but driving here late. They're in the red zone here against Arrowhead. Tuesday this fall, see how the officers of District 21 catch criminals on the mean streets of Chicago. Watch Chicago PD Tuesday nights this fall on My 24. Silva nowhere to go. Owen Arnett making the stop defensively for Arrowhead. Now a critical third down here for Marquette, under 2 minutes to go.
Arrowhead has only one timeout.
Yes.
Remember, they had to blow that one for having too many men on the field. And I think that's exactly what the quarterback is running out to tell the ref. We're going to take this down as far as we can.
It's quarterback Mike McDivitt and our referee tonight, Bill Becker, and they'll take their timeout. Well, our watershed moment brought to you by Sweetwater. Our watershed moment of the game just occurred just a few minutes ago. The fumble recovery, the forced fumble. Tommy Darrow being chased out of the pocket is our Sweetwater watershed moment. As you'll see here, scrambling left, and as he put the ball down, was hit. And then one more look.
Riley Nowakowski.
Yep. That's our watershed moment of the game, and it reminds you that you can be a game changer in your watershed. When it rains, stormwater washes litter, yard waste, chemicals, and other debris into our rivers and lakes. Visit respectourwaters.org to learn what you can do to prevent water pollution. Vince Nigro in on that play as well. Our watershed moment of the game. Arrowhead driving. Marquette defense, one of 4 takeaways tonight. Again, they'll fake that, give it to Nowakowski. Nowakowski inside the 5, down to the 3. Another variation off of that Hubert slot move in motion. Right. Looking for a little pitch, and instead kept it and gave it to Nowakowski. Sets up a 1st and goal at the 3-yard line for Marquette.
Yeah, you see a lot of teams use variations of that. The so-called jet sweep also works that way into it.
1st and goal from the 3. Nowakowski to the goal line. Touchdown, Marquette. Nowakowski, his 2nd touchdown run tonight. And Marquette in control now, leading 30-14.
Nice double team. The guard worked his way, chipped that tackle, slid back to get the linebacker. Once again, we credited the Marquette line with how well they've played today.
Is that number 14 blue that scored?
One of your top keys tonight. Marquette control the line of scrimmage.
Paul Conrad's in the offensive line coach, has to be very pleased with how these guys have performed.
Mitchell's extra point try is through. 31-14. 66 seconds to go here for Arrowhead to try and find some magic here. And again, they've had opportunity tonight. Turnovers have hurt the Arrowhead offense.
Right. I mean, you know, as you talk about Nowakowski, he forced that fumble that we just had as the watershed moment. Once again, another guy that's had a very impactful game.
4 tackles.
Forced fumble.
A forced fumble and 2 touchdowns.
Not a bad day at the office.
No, not at all. They'll be feeling pretty good and they go into film tomorrow.
Well, if you're a coach, you don't want them to feel too good. You're going to show them some positives. You're also going to bring up, did you see this?
Well, Arrowhead will get this ball back, having only 1 timeout remaining, trailing by 17. See where Mitchell puts this one. His last kick went out of bounds.
Right.
Trying to prevent Schleicher from coming up with a return, or at least putting it on the ground to delay that return somewhat.
Yeah, if you can't boot it to the end zone and get a touchback, you need to make sure you don't give them a chance.
That's exactly what happened. That skips into the hands of Lindemann. Lindemann
But now you
still on his feet, out across the 35-yard line. Joe Pettit on special teams. He's had a nice game on special teams
had
tonight.
a number of tackles.
Yes. He's been downfield on special teams tonight.
7 tackles for Joe Pettit.
Well, the situation is this for Arrowhead. Under a minute to go, down 17. 1 timeout remaining. If you're Keith Klestinski, I think you've got to rush your 3 here and drop everyone back. Keep the play in front of you. With the ball. That is Zutzius. Davis Zutzius, I should say. With the carry, his first carry tonight, gets 2, 2nd down and 8. Arrowhead in hurry-up mode here. 37 seconds to go here, trailing by 17.
Marquette's rushing only 2. Playing a real prevent-D.
Bring Zutzius in motion. They'll hand it off. Big hole up the middle. First down will stop the clock while they reset to chains.
Shane O'Brien with his 7th tackle of the game. So they got a number of their defensive backs do an outstanding job this evening.
Nielsen with that carry. Good enough for a Bryant and Stratton College athletic first down, but time running out here on Arrowhead. Darrow taking a lot of time getting this play away, and just did get it away. Our final play of the game, Darrow going to throw it, and it's in and out of the hands, incomplete. Intended for Hunter Goudreau, and that's your ball game here tonight. Marquette avenges a loss from last year at Arrowhead, winning here at home tonight by a final of 31-14. A satisfying win on both sides of the ball tonight for Marquette.
Yeah, they have to be pleased with the opening game performance. They have a lot of new guys that they brought in tonight, as did Arrowhead. But the mistakes determined the outcome of the game.
4 turnovers tonight by Arrowhead, 3 costly fumbles, 1 interception, and the big fumble, the costliest one, our watershed moment of the game earlier, that fumble driving here when you're down 10. Had a chance to make this a close ball game.
Really tightened that up.
Exactly, would have gained the momentum, and coughing it up and having that slip away here in this 4th quarter. So Marquette picks up the win. Arrowhead will head back home next week and open up Classic 8 conference play. My goodness. 31-14, our final here tonight from Hart Park in Wauwatosa. We'll take a break, back with some final words right after this. Well, Season 8 of the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights, presented by U.S. Cellular. Week 1 in the books, and Marquette with the win tonight, 31-14, an impressive win.
Good start for the season. They know what's ahead of them. I'm sure, though, that they want to make sure they stay grounded with what's coming up.
Let's head down to tonight's Player of the Game award and Mike McGivern.
Guys, DeLeon Brown Williams, our U.S. Army Player of the Game. Boy, that was a good game, young man. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about that offensive line, man. They fought. I was on the sidelines here all the time, and that offensive line talks together. They listen to the staff a lot, and they got after it for 4 quarters.
Yeah, they're definitely well-trained and very well-coordinated. We put a lot of work in the offseason, and I owe everything to my O-line. Without them, I would have no yards. So
anybody else you want to say thanks to?
I want to say thanks to the coaches, my friends, which is everybody on the football team. Thanks my mom, my dad. Yeah.
Mom. He said, I got to say hi to my mom in case she's watching. You bet. Sergeant Brown, U.S. Army.
On behalf of the U.S. Army, the Milwaukee Recruiting Company, I want to present you with the U.S. Army Player of the Game. Job well done, my man.
Back to you, boys.
DeLeon Brown Williams, the 5'7", 153-pound senior with our Player of the Game award tonight. 166 yards rushing tonight, but really it's his work in the first half that brought this Marquette team to a victory
Yeah,
tonight.
the 109 yards, caught the one pass out of the backfield, and that helped Marquette come back from that early 7-0 deficit. You can see his burst in there, score that touchdown.
That answered Arrowhead's touchdown and tied the game at 7 early in that first half. So Daleon Brown-Williams, our player of the game, brought to you all season long by the U.S. Army, Army Strong. Once again, let's head down to the sideline for a trophy presentation and Mike McGivern.
So I'm going to get the trophy to Coach Maz here in a minute. But I told you boys about midway through the second quarter. So far, it's an early year. My favorite player, kid right here. Man, I'm just telling you, man, he's a tough kid. He didn't look like a tough kid, but trust me when I tell you, he's a tough kid. Hey, first half, man, he fell on the ball, right? And threw up a couple times. I think we got that on tape. I'm hoping. He came off and said, man, please tell me you didn't get that on tape. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great now. That win just really helped. Puked, and now we felt good.
Hey, a lot of sweat equity went in the offseason. Leaders on this team, man, you know what? Come middle of the third quarter, you guys are not going to lose.
No, sir. The leaders really lead us and really bring us as a team and family. And, yeah, shout out to them for sure.
Man, first week, but he's my favorite so far. Hey, you're feeling good about this team. I thought the tempo, you know what? I thought the tempo of your offense, that wore their defense down. Middle of the second half, or middle of the second quarter, middle of the fourth quarter, you guys really took control.
It's a credit to our players being in great shape. Credit to our coaching staff to manage the game the way they did, and I'm proud of the whole group.
Maz, on to week 2. Congratulations. We'll get this, boys. I'm going to get out of here as you guys celebrate. Congratulations, Marquette.
The Hilltoppers avenge last season's opening loss to Arrowhead with a victory tonight, 31-14. Marquette on top of Arrowhead. Back with some final words after this on My 24. (31-14). Marquette wins here in week 1, and a fun game tonight, Terry, from the perspective of the fans and for both teams. A lot of excitement tonight, but I thought the keys tonight, Marquette took advantage of the takeaways that their defense provided.
Right, and see Riley Nowakowski go in there, important touchdown in that second half.
That was the opening drive to start that second half, to punch that one in. And as we mentioned, Arrowhead not giving up. That beautiful pass to Schleicher from Darrow brought them back to within 7 late in that third quarter. But here was I think the turning point of this whole game. They're driving on Marquette, and then the forced fumble.
He had the ball down low, and Nowakowski punched it out.
Exactly. And Nowakowski on the other side of the ball, scoring 2 touchdowns tonight. Able to get that important first down. That was on 4th and 1, I believe, late here in the fourth quarter. That salted this one away for the Hilltoppers tonight.
Right. I mean, they've got a lot of things they can look to and say, boy, we really did that well. And I think, Arrowhead, as they go back, are going to look at, we had opportunities. We just didn't take advantage of them. But we saw that they have some excellent athletes. And so, this is not going to determine where their season goes.
17 points off turnovers tonight for Marquette. Next week, we're in the Classic 8. Oconomowoc and Brooks Central. Another matchup crossover between the Greater Metro and Classic 8.
And number 1 ranked team in the area, Brookfield Central Lancers, Coach Jed Kennedy's group, bring a lot of boys back from last year's state finalist.
Oconomowoc at Brooks Central next Thursday night at 7. And don't forget tonight's game, rebroadcast Sunday night at 7. Right here on My 24. My thanks tonight to George Papa Cristo, our spotter, Ryan Horvat, our new stat man tonight, for Terry Kelly, Mike McGivern, and John Pearson. John Weiser wishing you a very pleasant good evening from Wauwatosa tonight. Again, your final, Marquette over Arrowhead, 31-14 on the Heiser Automotive Group Thursday Night Lights, presented by U.S. Cellular. Good night, everyone.